Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Hello and welcome then to the final round of eRGP Global Edition 12. This is the 12th season we're doing the Global Edition in the esports competition division of Axel Sports. My name is Amir Haziq. Alongside me is Damon Tam, and we are here at one of the most popular circuits on the calendar. In fact, maybe one of the most popular circuits in motorsport, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, definitely. And you can probably tell from the circuit itself that doesn't matter how much racing experience you have, and if you love cars, if you love racing, you're going to say, Spa is probably one of my favorite tracks ever. And I think you mentioned earlier, like, do you think it's a bit overrated?
Quite, because it's everyone likes the circuit and everyone drives it, but not necessarily everyone has mastered it. So that's why I say it's a little bit overrated, but it's still a fantastic circuit nonetheless. So that's the circuit that we have for today. The state of play is, in the copper categories, we're going straight to the drop scores, and it looks as though Lavinesh Mohan Nair may have gotten this title sewn up, but never say never. We've seen crazier final days before in the RGP, so Lavinesh must keep everything in order so that he could win this title in front of Adam Daniel and Adrian Amit. Still have an outside chance of winning the title here in copper class.
Yeah, and the gap between him and Dominic Chan in 4th place is only about 5 points, so anything could still happen in this final round. For some, the race is already in the bag for them. For others, this is probably the last chance this season to prove themselves.
Onto the Teams Cup then. This is the standings now. Stratos Motorsports have extended their gap a bit in front of MPRGP. Biff Racing, they did look good at the start, but now have fallen away a bit by the wayside.
Yeah, and Stratos Motorsports definitely way ahead of the pack right now. It's a race of one against the other 9 competitors on the grid, 9 teams on the grid, I should say. We can go over to our national standings here, our regional standings here. You can see Malaysia still very much ahead of the pack in terms of points. Followed closely behind by Indonesia and Philippines 3rd place, Singapore in 4th, Brunei in 5th, India in 6th, and Sri Lanka, of course, in 7th.
And that's all the 7 countries that are involved here. A few others missing from previous years, but nonetheless, it's been a good representation of countries and the competitors in each of those. So Indonesia, we're happy to have them back on board, and they have a surplus of drivers, not least here as well in the well, not many in the copper category, but in the bronze category and all the way up to gold. We're going to see plenty of them after this. Now then, qualifying is going to begin pretty soon, in a few minutes time, because it's just waiting to take over. I think a few drivers are still out on track as we speak, going into the session, including one driver, Emmanuel Di Parini. I'm not sure if this is similar to one of the drivers that has a Filipino name as well, Emmanuel Di Parini, but might just be similar in terms of surname. He's still out on track here with Mikazare's Iqbal, who had a bit of problems with his internet during Silverstone. That's why he was crashing out and about. You saw the car flying about. That was his apparently. But looks as though connection is sorted, and he's on the ball this time. And this driver we had to actually add. He won his first ever race in the RGP, despite the fact that he is what we can safely say is a savant.
Okay, I understand. But you know, they always have skills that a regular person might not be able to have. And it turns out if his skill happens to be in sim racing, then all the best for him.
Yeah, power to them, isn't it?
More power to him, yes.
Yes, and ever since then he's scored a couple podiums, but he's been struggling the last couple seasons. This one, though, it looks as though he's looking good. He's in the 251s, only about 5/10 off from Adam Daniel and Shavinesh Mohan Nair, who are about 1200s off. So he's not that far away from the championship contenders. He might want to stay clear of that battle, but we'll have to see how this kid goes as we are now entering to qualifying. As a few more cars are crossing the line, including, oh, I thought Eric Satria was one of them, but it looks as though Deeparini has finally crossed the line. Adam Daniel, though, the guy to beat.
It's fade to black as we begin our qualifying session here. You can see that again, Spa is a frankly very difficult track, more so than Silverstone was yesterday. So it's really up to the drivers to be as familiar with the track as possible in order to set the best time, and then set the best time so they can get clear of the pack who are traversing the course at race start.
Absolutely, and you know the other problem with Spa is the length of the circuit.
Yeah,
and
7
in a cars like
kilometers
this,
is a long lap.
yeah, and in cars like these, it will take almost 3 minutes, a whole 3 minutes to get around. So at best, 2 laps if you really go at it from the out lap.
Yeah.
1 lap if you're actually far behind. So
Yeah. So you have to make sure that there are no mishaps that happen to you during the out lap. Otherwise, you just end up wasting time that you don't get a second lap in.
absolutely. So we're looking at Adam Daniel right now in his Good Smile sponsored car slash
Moonwalking.
moonwalking a bit, and quintessential quintuplets car on the side. He's off of the way now, and Adrian has actually jumped in front of him as well. So that car is a familiar car if anyone knows his livery there. As we're gonna go straight back to the pit lane here. This is Adrian, and wow, he's actually cleared main championship rival there. But Sharvinesh, out of all of that, is in front. His younger brother Sharvinesh is actually, oh no wait, Sharvinesh in front, Lavinesh behind. So both brothers for MKN Racing have cleared away.
Yeah, and we have to remind you again that Adrian is probably the youngest driver here. I think he's like,
Well, not even 9, I
yeah,
think.
he's like 8 or 9 years old, and he's already doing really well for himself here. A lot of potential for this young driver here as we go over to the on lap here.
Yep.
Probably not the right gear to stay in there because you don't get a lot of power to the stream.
So 5th gear is probably ideal because you don't want to go to 6. 6, literally you have no power, and he is actually battling right now with Adam Daniel. So the driver that he's fighting for in the championship is right in front of him, but he had the track position. Now he's actually having to use his slipstream, which is not necessarily a bad idea though.
Yeah, and this is of course the out lap, so you want to be in a position that's good enough for you so that you can actually do your hot lap in peace.
Indeed, certainly, as we are now going to go back in front here to the MKN Racing team with Sharvinesh and Lavinesh Mohan Nair, respectively. It looks as though, again, every single qualifying session, they seem to be always up in front, and they're ready to just tackle everybody who's standing in their way. But this time, though, they're going to have to work together here because Sharvinesh is providing a bit of a tow to his brother behind.
Yeah. Look, I've seen them for the past 3-4 weeks. They've always been relatively, they look so in sync with each other. It's like, you know, the Takahashi brothers of Copper League right now. And certainly I think like they're dominating the standings at the moment. Well, Lavinesh is.
Yep, Lavinesh is in the driving seat. Sharvinesh is looking to end the year off strongly in the top 5, as Lavinesh is still behind him. As you can tell here by how he's not actually pushing it as hard because he wants to actually get the tow. As meanwhile, Adam Daniel further behind there also is going to get the tow from, by looks of it, Anel Yakin. So Anel Yakin is actually going to break the tow in front of him, but maybe, despite being separate teams, he's going to have to use that as well because he doesn't have any partner to slipstream with.
Yeah, and well, as we're reaching the end of the outlap here, it's hit the final straight before the chicane into the final straight, I should say.
The bus stop, yeah.
Yeah, the bus stop. Now they're in a position where they actually have a lot of space to put in the pace that they want, even without the slipstream. I think they're on track to set themselves a pretty good time here. We have an initial benchmark from Sharvinesh here, 247.9, close to 248. Lavinesh not far behind him, about 1.1 seconds down, but this is where it starts to heat up.
Yes, indeed, Damon. It is going to heat up as because We're finally here for the first proper qualifying laps, and for the Mohane brothers, they have actually 2 time laps at least because they crossed the line before the 3-minute mark, so they got 2 laps in them unless they really need to set another lap because it's a bit sprung out at the moment. So maybe they're gonna put this as their fast lap and just get on with it.
Coming out to the radio straight. You can see that I don't think these MX-5s actually have the downforce to take these things flat out. In fact, I don't think anything short of an F1 car can take this that uphill sweep flat out, can they?
For the most part, yeah, but if you take the right lines, keep it narrow, you can actually. These cars are theoretically possible, you can take it flat, and if given the track surface is actually 100% optimized.
Right, and it's also a pretty cool day on track, about 20 degrees air temperature, around that, yeah. So, tires will take a while to heat up. Aside from that, however, you can see that the lines that these drivers are taking, mostly just aping lines from the driver in front of them, but they're doing pretty well for themselves here. As we're on board with Lavinash Monai, and just behind us, brother Shabin is actually going a bit wide, and probably not the line he wanted to take.
Yeah, but sometimes you can get away with track limits here because it's not as strict compared to, say, Imola, where we had really strict track limits 3 weeks ago. Now they can just really go on and about here in the Ardennes countryside. Now, Sharvinesh is setting the benchmark up in front, but it looks as though Lavinesh may be able to close in the second sector as Adam Daniel behind. He's ready to go tackle Ainal Yakin.
Yeah, you can see here, I don't think he'd want to make a pass happen here, just because you kind of want to keep yourself in the tow and be able to set a fast lap from that. I don't think he might have it. I don't think he has an option right now, especially if the driver in front ends up being slowed, and if he's going to have to make a pass happen. We can go back. Where is Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian actually has lost sight of Adam Daniel. In fact, he's behind another driver in front of who's right behind Adam Daniel, so he's lost touch with a couple of drivers somewhat. But again, he's got clean air, nothing to worry about. It's just worried if the guy behind gets even closer.
Yeah, I do believe that the Warner brothers are currently about to finish their lap right now as they enter the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, let's see where this is going to put it, because Lavinesh was about a second behind Sharvinesh last time up, but it's only because it's the out lap, and they got plenty of time here to do another one because half a minute left to go across the line here. Where is that going to put Sharvinesh? No improvement. Where is Lavinesh going to be? No improvement either. So it's surprising. No improvements from both drivers, but he can go for another lap as Adam Daniel crosses the line. He's in P3. He's going to lose 1 point, another extra point to Lavinesh there in third place. Aliyak in fourth, Eric Satra in fifth. Where's Adrian? Adri's crucially there is P7.
Yeah, he actually managed to get past in time to do another lap. And P7, though, not the best pace for him. You saw him blistering in last week's race on Silverstone. Probably can't find the same pace that he wants here, but again, Spa is a very difficult course to drive on. Adam Daniel here only about 1,000 from a second, 100 from a second behind Lavinesh Monai here. Very close between these two cars right now, and he still has the tow, so he can still put in a very fast lap.
Indeed. Meanwhile, speaking of the tow, Sharvinesh has gone up to the pit, so Lavinesh has lost that tow that he would have wanted. Despite that, he still couldn't get time on his brother, despite being behind him. So, guess he's now out on his own trying to find his own path. 2:47.9. That's a seriously fast time. That's way faster than any of the practice times that I've seen throughout the entire week. So, somehow they found something in the settings of the car to go that fast.
Yeah, definitely. And it there is a bit of a pro and con towards having someone to follow behind. English? I can't speak English anymore. I think there are pros and cons to having a driver in front of you that you can follow, because one, it means that you can follow the racing lines, but it also means that sometimes you might not be as fast as you want to, just because you have to match the pace of the car in front.
Correct, and in case the guy in front actually is a bit of a cork in the bottle, that's it. That's going to stuff up your lap, and it looks as though it might have worked in the first lap for Lavinesh. The second lap didn't really pay off as much, as we see a few drivers jumping up and about through the grid, including Christiansen, who gets up to P5. So that's another point for him in his season, where you could say that if he actually started the first round, he could have been up there challenging. But whatever it is, one win this season is not too bad, as we're following Adam Daniel right now behind Ainal Yakin. And it looks as though Ainal is actually probably losing a bit of pace.
Yeah, definitely. But it also does mean that he might slow down Adam Daniel. Coming up behind him, you can see the gap between them. Not very big, but Adam Daniel's lap difference between him and Lavinesh, that might be a close one.
Indeed. as Christensen leaves the server, but he could probably come back anytime though, because it's as long as you jump back in before the race starts, you're in good nick. As we come up to Stavlo now, sorry, Blanchimont. Stavlo's prior up to that. Rue Blanchimont, and where are the drivers now? You can see Adrian Ahmed, they're being chased by another guy. There is Adam Daniel coming up to the final corner now. Aina Yakin misses it a bit as Sharvinesh
Nice line.
still in pole position. Yep, that's a very good line through the final corner. Lavinesh crosses the line, no improvement. But where does Adam Daniel gonna come? Is he gonna go up to second? No, he doesn't. He stays third, so he loses 1 extra point to Lavinesh Mohaner with the other drivers behind him just finishing up their laps. There is Adrian across the line. He's P9, and the rest of the field then crossed there. So, no improvements for quite a few drivers despite having an extra lap.
Yeah, it seems insane that some of them couldn't even beat their outlap times. So we're getting ready. We've got about 40 seconds before race 1 starts.
Yep. So, we probably have enough time to actually just wind through the clock and start the race. But wow, talking about the qualifying session, that was actually quite intense, especially if you're in the championship stakes. But it's a crucial thing though that Lavinesh is in front of Adam Daniel, and that's 1 extra point that he got. So coming to this round, it was about 20 plus points, 20 points. Now it's 21. So Adam Daniel has now less opportunities to overhaul Lavinesh unless something monumental happens to him in the final
Yeah, if
race.
somehow Lavinesh doesn't end up in the top 10 and loses out on points, then Adam Daniel does have a chance, right? But considering the pace and the consistent performance that Lavinesh has been putting in since the start of the season, it will be a very big miracle for Adam Daniel if something does happen to Lavinesh.
Absolutely. Now we're lining up on the grid proper. We're back in our live pictures here. Jumping up between the TV cameras. You can see there the whole full grid of drivers here on the grid today at Spa. Yuan Edo we're looking at right now is right at the back. So is Dominic Chen. Out of our sights here, Mikazari Iqbal managed to jump out to P4. What an absolute brilliant performance there. He may not be able to break into the 50s, but 51 was enough for him to jump out to 4th place, and that's his first points of the season.
Yeah, good for him. And a very good starting position as well. Let's just hope that the launch, which is the most crucial part of race start, of course, aside from the first corner where everything could go wrong for these drivers, the launch is very important.
Absolutely.
Probably the second most important thing for these drivers.
Absolutely. Plus, it looks as though pole is on the inside here coming into turn 1. So
Yeah.
whoever's on pole position can hold that, and that's Sharvinesh's territory at the moment. As you can see, he's pointing his steering wheel a bit to the right. It looks as though he's signaling his intent somewhat. His brother Lavinesh then getting comfy in his seat. We can look at our second screens right now, taking a bit of water on the way. So he's just ready to psych himself up. He knows what's the job at hand. Finish in front of Adam Daniel, and he'll be good for the title. Adam Daniel likewise will be hoping an outside chance of claiming the title by literally spoiling the party and hoping that Lavinesh has a really bad race.
Yeah, for now, Lavinesh probably has it in the bag. Again, anything can happen, and Adam Daniel could possibly eke out a win.
Yep.
But you're gonna have to pray really, really hard for it to happen. And I'm not
Absolutely.
wishing it against Lavinesh as well. I hope he has a fantastic race and
Yep.
manages to cinch the trophy.
Yep, there's our faraway shot. We can see
10
what's
seconds.
what to expect in turn 1. Camera is on the start finish line.
Lights on the gantry.
Yep, 5 lights on the gantry, 6 actually inside the Corsa. Come on, and when they go out, race number 1 for round 4 of Global Edition 12 in the Copper class is underway, and it looks as though it might have been a good start for Lavinesh Mohaner on the outside. Sharvinesh tries to fight back. He's going to have the whole shot coming to turn 1. Mikazari Zipbal on the outside. He's having to watch out here as in between.
Oh,
Lavinesh actually probably spun right. There's Lavinesh. So Lavinesh has actually dropped it coming to turn 1. And that's Adam Daniels' Christmas coming quite early there, Damon.
Was that a caster curse? Was that a commentator's curse? Because I'm kind of worried that it might have happened. He dropped out of points. He's in P11 now. He has to work really hard to get back into the points, or at least into a top 5 finish, so he can keep that lead he's had. But there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of traffic in his way, and he's gonna have to do his absolute damnedest to get past them.
Look
Let's
at
go
that.
on to Radion.
Look at that. The
There's a
car's
car on
sped
the
out.
grass.
Oh!
Cars on the grass. One's doing a 720, 900.
Yes, literally, it's pirouetting on the grass there, coming up to Lake Combe as
I think
Mikazari
that was
Zipbal.
Eric Satria.
Yeah, sorry, it might be Eric Satra, yes, but we're looking at Lavinesh Mohaner. Just now, look at that. The whole field of cars are in front. He is in P13, so at least he will get points in this one because points would go to 15th in race number 1. But that's not the number of points that he would have wanted because Adam Daniel would have gotten more out of that. But having said that, Adam Daniel's only up to P5.
Yeah, he actually lost quite a bit of positions after the big straight.
Oh, some car spun around.
Spin, that
It's
is...
Ahmad Fahmi Ismail.
Yes.
So Ismail has been turned around there, and now he's going to have to go through the sea of traffic.
Oh, rejoin the track.
Whoa!
Been out. It is pandemonium on this track right now. Multiple cars spinning out. That's Dominic Chen entering the track. Quite unsafe. And who else is back there?
Remy Azono.
Yeah, Remy Azono there. Another one. At least he managed to rejoin the track safely. But it is quite chaotic. And again, it's smart. If you're not ready for it, this track will bite you.
Absolutely, and we saw just now then the kerfuffle that went on right in front. That caused everything, but throughout of all that, another one!
Spin, that is Ainul Yakin, is it?
Yes, it's Ainul Yakin, correct. Ainul Yakin has actually dropped it into the crowd!
Oh, that is...
Oh, Deeparini then, unfortunate to actually get... No, it's not in Deeparini. That might have been... it was one of the great cars. Figo Rustandi in the Bigo car.
And that was Ainul Yakin for the lower. Then there's another incident there.
Rudy into the grass as well. And we're only in lap 1, mind you, Damon, out of potentially 6 I've calculated.
Oh, again, going off track. I think there might be some damage to the suspension there. He didn't take the corner as well as he went. Anyway, and Lavinash here battling against AJ Ahmed. Actually managing to go all the way back up to P6 after an immensely chaotic lap 1. As he entered the bus stop chicane.
Yep, I think he probably spun it in the curb on the inside because it's quite slippery in these cars. I know, I've tried it. So that's why he dropped it, because he thought he could get back on the throttle quickly. But that has cost him a few positions. Luckily, though, he manages to get back up close to the top 5 here at the end of lap 1.
And yeah, again, as you say, this is only lap 1. That could potentially be even more percent. AJ going in for the dive. Does he manage to make the pass? He does. Oh, I don't think Lavinash saw that coming.
And I know that he would do that because I've raced against him a few times during the practice servers during the week.
Yep.
He knows, he loves the dive bomb, especially at turn 1 and coming out to Brussels at turn 8.
It's all about the risk taking, and when you're this young, any risk is a great risk to take. Ooh, coming out to Eau Rouge.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stay with this battle though. This is the best one so far as we are now trying to cycle our cameras through here onto the Camel Straight. On board with now Lavinash Mohane.
Getting a nice tow just behind AJ Ahmed there, doing about 180 Ks. I think these cars will probably go out to about 190 just before the braking point there.
Yep.
Yeah, just about there, but he does manage to get a pass there, brakes a bit.
Oh, later, way later than
It
Adrian.
actually makes that pass stay. Adrian didn't even see that coming.
Yes, but now this is Adrian's favorite overtaking spot.
Yep.
He will try, I'm pretty sure. Coming up now to Brussels, turn number 8. Is he gonna go for it? He has to be circumspect, remember? Yes, he does not do it. But he is checking the inside.
A bit wide on the line there. He's actually trying to make something happen there. Very tight line from Adrian Ahmed coming there. Lavinash slowly just trying to gain as much of a lead as he can. Both of them going quite wide on that part, and that's fine. Try limits are non-existent on that particular corner.
Yep. Wow, this battle is still going on. In fact, if Adri still latches onto the back of Lavinash just a bit as Lavinash goes very wide, coming through Puhon, it might just stay this way because at the front here you can see that's Mika Zaris. No, in fact that's Christensen, Adam Daniel, and Francis Dorato in front of these two. So third place is still on the cards for Lavinash, but again, damage limitation coming to this final round of the season as he did not expect that to happen in front of his eyes.
Yeah, and well, I'm kind of speechless after like managing selling into the groove, and now lap 2 onwards. Alim Jantan here in P9. Great name, by the way.
Lap 2 onwards, as you think?
Yeah, and lap 2 onwards and saying, and like, there are individual battles happening all over the track right now. You can see Adrian Ahmed and Lavinash there. Oh, that's Eric Satria there, battling against
Pratama, yes.
Pratama, yes.
What a name.
Another one. Great names all around from all the drivers here.
Yes, as we are now coming up to Blanchimon here, it looks as though Satria against his fellow countryman Pratama. Not the same team, of course, because they're driving for different teams. We saw Alex Satria was the one that was pirouetting like a Beyblade on the Camel Straight. He's on the inside now, coming up to the bus stop chicane. It looks as though he might be able to take him, and he does.
Gets the inside track.
Easy.
Pratama has to let him through. Eric Satria, very nice exit with that last bit into the finish straight.
Yep, And that's the end of that particular battle for now, as we now jump up back to the really important places. This is for the championship connotations, mind you, because Adam Daniel then slipstream up to the back of Christensen. This is going to be quite a tasty battle.
We can probably go on board for this right now. Adam Daniel is just pounding the tail of Christensen as they enter the Camel Straight. Oh.
Better launch.
Yeah, I think he lifted off a little bit there. It's Christensen as he ends up getting the pass happen, and Muhammad Rudi disconnecting. I think he did have a pretty bad spin in the end of that last lap, and probably called it a race for him.
Yep, he'll be back for race number 2 as we are now coming out to Lake Combe. Adam Daniel on the outside, and Christensen didn't really fight that much, but he is going to try to retaliate through the next few corners.
Yeah, and the thing about these cars is that because they're not particularly fast, a lot. Oh, that's a Tokyo Drift moment right there. Anyway, back to my point what I was saying, right? These cars, they're not particularly fast. So an important thing to consider during the fast race is how much momentum you can conserve as you're going around this track. Because the first part of the track, the first sector, of course, it's quite fast. The second sector, not as much.
Yep, but there are fast sweepers though.
Yeah, there is.
So they're going to have to be concerned about that. That's where momentum preservation is crucial.
Correct, yes.
As you can see then, speaking of momentum, it looks as though Mika Zari's Iqbal has not been able to maintain touch with Sharvinesh Mohaner. There we go, that's Sharvinesh. There's Mika right in second place, but it looks as though he's not been able to catch up to him because Adam Daniel and Christensen are catching.
Yeah, definitely. And Sharvinesh dominating lead over all rest of the cars right now. Lavinesh still stuck in P6, unable to make any headway.
Oh! Christensen! Wow, wait, that's a fishtail and a half. I wouldn't want to use tank slapper because that's a bike term.
Yeah, and driving the car on the raggedy edge is Christensen right now, trying to push the limits of what the MX-5 Cup car can do. And I think he might be paying for it a little bit. As you can see, the battle between what I was saying earlier, yeah, Lavinesh trying to catch up to Francis Dorato here, not being able to do so. Still about a second split between them, as I think probably got about 3 more laps left in here, and Daniel trying to make a pass. Oh, sorry, not pass. Trying to catch up to Mikael Iqbal.
So, Mikael Iqbal, and then, forbid screw the brakes. Yeah. The lap time wise, he's not doing too bad. He was around 252s last time anyway, so he's not really setting the world about the pace, but he's not really lagging that far behind. He's just maintaining a good pace.
Yeah, but breaking early into that one-stop chicane means Adam Daniel manages to close the gap quite substantially right now, less than half a second behind Mikael Iqbal here, and about a second clear of Christensen, who I think is still trying to catch up. Hopefully he doesn't push the car too hard. The car goes wide there. That's Francis Dorado. Lavinesh takes this opportunity to make a pass happen right at turn 1.
Yep, and he does before coming up to Eau Rouge and Radion, so he has gotten one tricky driver to pass out of the way. Now he's ready to tackle the rest of the top 5 here. He's back in the top 5 incidentally. As Adam Daniel then, it looks as though he's ready to line one up on the outside. Again, this time he has the momentum coming out of Eau Rouge and Radion, but will he be able to get the move done?
Yeah, look at his speed. Compare his speed right now to Iqbal. He's got about 2-3 Ks ahead of him. And just that minute amount of speed is enough to carry him forward.
And he does. He goes up to second place. Now Mika has to actually probably behind now to defend from a fast charging Christensen, who had really a couple of brave moments on the gas trying to control the car, but he's still within a shout of getting the podium. Yes. Adam Daniel now trying to chip away more points out of Lavinesh Mohaner.
I think we call this Sharvinesh race for now.
Yes.
4 seconds ahead.
Oh!
Christensen again with the absolutely brave entry into the corner. Doesn't actually lose that much speed though. Maybe it did pay off for him, but he's going to have to be very careful about the wear he's put on his car.
Yeah, exactly. The tires and the fact that if he actually gets that one moment wrong, he's going to be sent into the barriers like that.
Yeah, very bad line through there. Gone quite wide. Didn't lose that much speed actually. Probably lost about a tenth, maybe a half a tenth.
Yeah, as behind this is a debutant Muhammad Azhar, against Adrian Ahmed right around the outside through Fanya's corner. Oh, you wouldn't want to go through there now, can you?
Yeah. Adrian trying to defend, didn't have the best line out of that right-hander. Does get a nice tight line to the second part of the S curve. Jeez, oh my god, what's wrong with my English today? It's bad. As I was saying, that Muhammad Azhar makes the pass happen, and he didn't get the best exit out of that particular S curve.
Yep, skill issue.
My mouth has also experiencing a skill issue right now.
No, it's not skill issue of Adrian, but he's not having the best of days, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because he really was coming to this fight really close to second place, but it looks as though balance may be a key here because he's at 10 kilos.
That's
But having said that, Lavinesh is carrying 15, so I don't see how Lavinesh is not having much of a problem, as we are now back to that battle with the top 3, incidentally, because it is close between these 3, between Mikael Iqbal, Christensen, and Lavinesh Mohaner.
Yeah, with about 2 laps to go, anything can happen. The gap between these 2 cars, not very wide at all, only about a second. And in fact, separating P3, P4, and P5, less than 3 seconds between these 3 cars.
Yep. Mikael Iqbal must look forward now, not look back. He must pay attention to the guy in front. Just use the good lines that the guy is taking in front so that he could clear the guys behind. Because right now, if he looks behind often, it's not going to help with his cause.
Yeah, definitely. And Moaz again. I think he's still battling with Adrian Amit there, because I think there saw some red and greens between these 2 cars. This is passing each other.
Yep. Oh, that's not what you want to do, Adrian. Side by side, Fro Rouge and Radion. Oh!
I think that was a bit of contact he had to let off. There was no way he was going to take that corner flat out to that line.
Yep, but he's got better drive out of Radion and onto the Camel Straight here. Slipstream by. Let's see if he can make the maneuver, because I did envision him to be a bit more aggressive, but looks as though he's a bit more circumspect.
Yeah, it does have the toe, does have quite a bit of speed over Muhammad Azhar that probably will make this pass happen. Muhammad Azhar does have the inside track into the right, but not for the left. Adrian makes the pass happen just before he enters the corner.
Yep, Leiko makes it through around the outside. Quite a few drivers have done this already. So again, with these cars, it's just easy to overtake because there's no aerodynamic grip at all.
Yep.
So you just need to use a bit of the draft and get by.
It's all mechanical with these cars. And you can see here, Lavinesh still trying to make headway.
But this is good.
Past Christensen. This is a really good battle.
Really good battle. And in fact, it's also good for Mikael because he can actually just make a beeline for it. Because if Christensen and Lavinesh fight any harder, it's going to stall both of them. So that's why it's good for him.
True to a certain extent, but also that they're actually catching up to Mikael Iqbal, which means that he's going to get caught up in their battle for P3 right now. And if that happens, Christensen, Lavinesh actually makes that pass happen on Christensen. That was sweet. And Christensen, again, just deja vuing to this track.
Yeah, amazingly, he's kept it out of the gutter.
That was super brave. Like, I think no driver has pushed the MX-5 as far past its limits as Christensen has just today alone.
Absolutely. And, well, again, it's just a matter of how you want to push it. And for some of these guys, they really push it.
Yeah, you can see that the battle is probably not as effective as you might think, considering the Lavinesh is. But his lines are so clear. His lines are so clear.
The balance does hold him back just a bit, but it does actually show that he's using the balance as part of the car.
Yeah, and like depending on where it's placed, it could even help with grip to a certain extent.
Yes, but again, that's a different type of technique altogether, because I know some drivers with success balance, they have done that. As out of the final corner he goes.
So close to Mikael Iqbal right now. Again, just what I was saying earlier, Mikael Iqbal is going to get tangled in Lavinesh's charge towards the podium finish, and this is the very last lap. He's got still 2 minutes to defend, and Lavinesh makes the. That was just, he made it look so easy.
Oh, he really had to duck that one on the inside. As we look at the battle with Mika, as we lost the camera for a second. There's Mika around the outside, but will he be able to stick it around here, coming through Orush Radion? Oh, this is another 2-white moment. Is Lavinesh going to back it off? Take out the championship, mate! Take out the championship! Oh! And Mika's cut it. Now, does he get a penalty from that? Yes, he does. He has to back it off. So, unfortunately, he's going to tumble out of the top 5 here. As now, oh no! He's stopping completely here to get rid of the penalty. That's disastrous, and that is going to send him out of the top 10. Unless, of course, Muhammad Azhar is going to get him, but Azhar is about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, that was bad entry into Radion there.
Yeah, he could have kept it tight. As now we had to jump forward here to Lavinesh. He's actually now been overtaken by Christensen.
Again, the battle for P3 is strong, and as well, this is the final lap. Christensen pushing the car to its absolute ends of grip right now. In fact, even going past it to a certain extent. But it's paying off for him considering his position right now. As Adam Daniel probably not going to be too happy that the gap between him and Lavinesh went from substantial to minuscule in the space of about 15 minutes.
Yeah. But, you know, that's how you kind of do damage limitation.
That's racing for you.
Yeah, that's racing, and that's how you do damage limitation, especially if you're Lavinesh.
Yeah.
But Christensen probably is, if we have the driver of the day award, the driver of the day for how crazy he drove that car. He still manages to hold on to it.
Yeah, insane. Like, I want to learn how to control the car like he does. Just look at that. It's just slipping and sliding, and yet still being absolutely quick to these corners.
Yep. Again, he really is riding his luck there. As update on Mikael Iqbal, he has actually dropped to P10, which means he's on pole position for race 2.
Oh,
as
no, we were just talking about you. We have to stop cursing these drivers, man.
Yeah, but luckily for him, he kept it under control again, but he's lost the podium because of that. Probably was a slight touch from Lavinesh as well for good measure.
And maybe there was a little bit of contact there, but what I primarily saw was just him accidentally touching wheels on the grass and then just losing grip from there. Just a shame, but considering how he's driven the car, good say that it.
Oh! Oh my
that.
word!
Come
Wow!
on.
Nearly went into a 5 octane there for a second, octave. But whatever it is, further in front, we are seeing Shavinesh Mohaner with a victory here, second of the season, and crosses the line, has a handsome winner in front of Adam Daniel, 1.9 seconds behind. Lavinesh saves his championship somewhat, just minimizing the damage by finishing third. Christiansen fourth. Francis Dorado then crosses the line in fifth, with Mohamed Azhar, a debutant, in sixth place. Where's Adrian though? Adrian probably decided.
Oh, he's still battling.
He's still battling across the line. Oh, he just lost it out. Lost it out by 800ths of a second.
That's so unfortunate. Right up until the end, he wanted that position so badly. But this does mean he starts P2 on the grid. So what he can hope for is a very good launch in race 2.
Yes, but that means the end of his championship somewhat, because he is out of the running here for the top 2 positions, but he will consolidate P3.
Yeah, good for him. And again, young driver, immense amount of potential. Hope to see him again in future seasons.
Yep.
But up until now, it's just going to be, lessons learned.
Yep.
Things to do, to work on, and then you come back stronger the next time around.
Yep, hard lessons to learn. But that's the end of race number 1 for the Copper class. We'll be back here for the championship decider in race number 2. But until then, here's a few words from our sponsors. So then, welcome back here to eRacing GP Global Edition 12, round number 4 for the Copper class. We just finished round 1 here, race 1 here, by the way, at Spa. It was a win for Shavinesh Mohaner in front of Adam Daniel by 1.9 seconds, as we are now seeing him doing the donuts here in front of our cameras, because we're still waiting for the session to take over. Yeah, he's happy with that one. You can tell he's over the moon, as in the pit lane, we see Adam Daniel in there. He'll probably be a bit miffed by the fact that Lavinesh had a good recovery. As now we are finally taking over to the next session. So, odds on right now here for Adam Daniel just coming back, or is it a bridge too far?
Oh, it's really hard to say. I mean, Lavinesh, he's pretty much got it in the bag, right? And race 2 doesn't carry as many points as race 1. So even if Adam Daniel manages to take podium here, if Lavinesh ends up on the podium, or even just like P5 or P6, it's still his race to win.
Yes, in fact,
it's his
Lavinesh, championship to win. Yes. So Lavinesh is still on for the title, and for what's at stake here is this particular trophy that we have. It's actually
No, don't zoom in.
Yeah,
it's from last year.
Don't worry, because it is still the same trophy.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a shout out to the guy who's been doing the servers for us in the GP for the last couple of seasons, Fahad Ghafoor. This was his Sprint Edition trophy, but you can as well get this trophy if you're in the top 3 for the championship in global in any of the classes. So this is the target to watch out for. Look at that shiny trophy from from Royal Selangor. Right.
All right. If you've just only joined us, we're currently starting race 2, reverse grid. That means in 10th place right now, we can see on the grid right now as the cars are on.
Yep, we're gonna go straight to the front of the grid.
Yeah.
That's Mikael Iqbal.
Kai Iqbal starting P1, just behind him Adrian Ahmed. Had pretty good starts in previous races, but couldn't finish strong enough. They're gonna have a second opportunity to do their best here. And well, right now, the 3 cars at the back of the pack in P10, P9, and P8, of course, are the dominating forces in this race.
Yes. Not just the race, but the whole season.
Yes, the whole season, yes.
So we're gonna see in perspective what they're gonna go up against. And starting with Sharvinesh, way at the back in P10. That's a good longer run up to turn 1 than the pole sitters have. So he's gonna have his work cut out here to cut through, unless of course major mayhem happens.
And again, it's Spa, anything can happen.
And we saw that already how it was in lap number 1, where it was absolutely
especially
manic.
when you have 21 cars going up Eau Rouge, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be pandemonium because you won't get the chance to decide what line to take. Other cars will decide that for you.
Yep. Emma Azik alongside me, Damon Tum. We are ready to go racing here for race number 2 in the Copper class for round number 4 of the Global Edition Season 12.
And of course, after this is over, we will have the Bronze League starting in right after this on the same track with GT3 Cup cars instead.
Yep. But all eyes now will be on whether or not Mikael Zarez Iqbal can actually get the run up to turn 1, the whole shot. We saw how Sharvinesh and Lavinesh fought for it, and to the detriment of Lavinesh, he spun. Now this is the similar situation here for Mikael Zarez Iqbal. Lights on the gantry come on, and when they go out, race number 2, the final race of the entire season, will be underway, and it looks as though it is a good start from Mika. In fact, he has actually gotten the drop on Adrian Ahmed. Adrian just gonna get a better launch that time. Here they come into turn 1 now. Who's gonna follow the cropper here? It looks as though it is quite clear. We're gonna actually have a white shot of seeing if there's anyone spinning. Nope. Clear away here up to Eau Rouge and Radion, David.
Yep, some cars going a bit wide, but all together pretty clear of incidents. But Adrian Ahmed is right on the tail of Mikael Iqbal, side by side to Eau Rouge, up to Radion. Who's gonna have the better exit? Yeah, it'll be Adrian Ahmed, and he has got blistering speed out there. Timothy Chen trying to make a pass happen, going a bit wide, but that gives space for Muhammad Azhar to jump up the pack.
Yep, Adrian now looking for his first win in the GP. He had his first pole last time. Now he's ready for his first win. So two races ago in Imola. Now we come up to Lake Combe for the first time. Here is the leader coming through. That's Adrian Ahmed. Azhar second. Timothy Chen third. And further behind, we're going to look at where the championship rivals are. That's Lavinesh. He's ready to tackle. Oh, that's very
Daniel's
close.
just right behind him. Sharvinesh 2 positions behind, just behind Francis Dorado. As I say that, he passes Francis Dorado. And now these 3 cars are together yet again. And it's up to them to battle to the front of the pack now.
Yep. So we're looking at the onboard here with Sharvinesh. He has the best seat in the house. He's gained 1 position from where he started, but look at that. The amount of work he has to do. Oh! Who is that getting hit? That was Sharvinesh going through. In fact, it's actually Mikael Iqbal who actually got a hit from Lavinesh.
Yeah, I think he braked a bit too early there. Ended up getting contact and didn't expect to get brake checked by Mikael Iqbal. That's just the par for the course when it comes to races like these. Everyone has their own interpretation of how to go through a corner fastest. As Muhammad Azhar making a pass on Adrian Ahmed, has the inside track over the next bend. Does that mean he'll manage to make the lead stick? No.
Not yet, but because Adrian has the inside.
Yep.
Azhar, is he brave enough to go around the outside?
Oh! He might go off. He's stuck.
Oh.
He's got knocked out. And he turns left to go right. Not of his own volition, of course, but that will set his race far behind.
Oh, he was going for the lead. Now he's going to have to go back up through the field. That's
that's
unfortunate.
P2 to P15. Shows you how close the grid was up until that point.
Yep.
But
Here's Adri.
yeah, Adri again fighting with Timothy Chen. Having a nice run up to the straight actually is Timothy. Adri has the inside track coming up to there. I think there's not a little bit of contact there.
Yes, there was contact.
Behind.
There was contact coming up now to the final corner. Timothy on the inside, Adri on the outside.
Oh, Timothy braked a bit too late there, but he does have the inside track. Does keep his position. Adrian having to go wide there. Timothy, good defense. Christensen right behind them. Oh, the broadcast car.
Oh, sorry about it. Sorry, folks. Yeah, we had a bit of a problem with the broadcast car just now as it's finally been rolling out of the way. Now then, is it stopped completely? Unfortunately, we probably did not move it in time. Yes, now it's back in the pits. Phew. Thank God for that. Sorry, folks, it wasn't there.
Oh, I think that might have cost Adam Daniel a bit. No, actually, he's moving up into the pack right now. He's in P9. As I say that, Lavinash is in P5. So, oh, this is going to be a challenge for Adam Daniel.
Yes. Now that his championship is slipping away even further here behind Francis Dorato and
But what's this? I see Shavinash there ended up in P16. Was it because of a collision?
Probably it was, but we probably missed out of our cameras. But unfortunately for Shavinash, the race 1 winner is way behind as we are now looking at Christiansen being, no, in fact that's Deparini being overtaken by Lavinash.
Yeah, I think we got a bit too heated at the start of the race. I forgot to put the broadcast car back into the pits. I was... anyway, let's just move on. As we see Lavinash there, again, having a great race. Timothy Chen actually made it past Adrian Ahmed and is now 1 second clear of him. Adrian Ahmed gonna have to drive hard to catch back up.
Yeah, Adrian about a second behind here with Christensen. Oh, actually Christensen might be one to watch out for again as he goes to the inside.
Ooh, bit of a bump there. Adrian losing a bit of grip on the rear, has to slide, but keeps the car under control. But that was a love tap.
Yeah, but that's probably just as clean as you want because sometimes in touring car racing you have.
Yeah, but now Lavinash takes his opportunity to make the pass happen. Adrian Ahmed pushing him off, but both cars end up sliding, and now Adrian Ahmed. Oh wow, he actually managed to save it. Lavinash there. Oh, that was a big cut.
Yeah, the fact that Lavinash probably gets a penalty out of that for cutting the track. He's now having to lose a couple of positions here, especially to Mikael Iqbal on the outside. He goes.
And guess who's the biggest benefactor of it? That's right, it's Adam Daniel right there. Now in P7, only 2 positions behind Lavinash there. And Lavinash probably still has to serve a penalty.
Yeah, where's he going to drop it? We're not really sure, but look at that. Behind him is Adrian Ahmed. So the top 3 in the championship are within arm's length of each other. As look at that, right in front of him, 3 wide, coming up to Blanchimon.
Oh, Adrian Ahmed does make it the pass happen. So it's 3 wide in front and 2 wide in the back. But Adrian Ahmed does make the pass clear. Will Adam Daniel be able to make it past him through the bus stop chicane? We're about to see as we can go over to the TV camera. Oh, early break there from Adrian Ahmed. That gives Adam Daniel a chance to practice on the inside. Mikael Iqbal conceding the position to Ahmad Fahmi Ismail and actually conceding 2 positions now. And that puts him right into the sights of Adrian Ahmed and Adam Daniel.
Yep. As in front, Timothy Chen and Christensen make their escape along with Emmanuel Di Parini. But look at behind there. That's Mikael Iqbal on the inside of Lavinash. Ahmad Fahmi Ismail also joining the fray. So they're going at it hammer and tongs.
This is a battle for P4. That is a 5-car battle for P4. Well, 6-car battle for P4.
Well, that's how they like it, isn't it? They just want to have a good scrap at the final race of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see that 2 wide going to Orush. How Mikael Iqbal having to slow down. No, wait, that wasn't him. That was Ahmad Fahmi Ismail having to slow down there just to give space for Lavinash to make it pass. Let's see. Adrian Ahmed and Adam Daniel taking opportunities there. That's some rubbing going on onto the Camel Straight.
Yeah, Adrian Ahmed there was actually the one that really was the aggressor that time. On board with him. Now we're going to have to jump back behind here to probably Francis Dorato because he's seeing this whole thing. Look at that. Side by side, everybody goes.
Does seem to have a car right beside him. Wants to give a bit of space, but doesn't want to concede too much of the line. That's a big cut coming from Ahmad Fahmi Ismail there. That might be a penalty for him.
Yep, and pushes Adrian Ahmed a bit slightly as... Oh!
And then he'll lose his grip with the car just a little bit. But enough for him to end up conceding positions. He is in P10.
Yeah, that's how close 4th and the back are. As who's there in 4th place that's cleared away? It's Lavinash.
Lavinash, yeah.
So
Lavinash.
He's
it's Lavinash.
Yeah, so of course it's him. So he's made a beeline for it from P4 there. But this battle from 5 onwards is absolutely heating up.
Oh, and Daniel, Francis Dorado, and Pratama there. 3 cars battling now for P9. Yes, P9. Dominic Chen there going on. It's so close. These cars are so close together that any form of contact could send anyone's race back.
As you're saying that.
Oh no, who was that? That was Muhammad Azhar, yes.
And flashing his lights in dismay and gesticulation to that one as Dominic Chen now tries to run up to the back of Adrian Ahmed. So is Adam Daniel, and so is Pratama behind Adam.
I thought race 1 was pretty intense. This is taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, but speaking of intense, we're going to have to go back to the battle for P1. Look at this, Christiansen coming out to the back of Timothy Chen. And if they two also were to just mess each other up by battling too hard. It's
Yep.
going to bring everybody back into play.
And we know how Christensen has been driving the MX-5 right there. You can see some scratches on the front bumper there. That means he's been pushing it quite hard. You can see trying to make it happen on the outside. Ooh, up to the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to make something happen? If he breaks just a second too late, he's going to end up screwing the line for both of them. Oh, that's a very late break coming from them.
Oh! And that's a touch right the outside, but Christensen manages to cut back across to take first place, and Timothy will have to retaliate. Oh, where's he stopping? He's actually stopping a bit, isn't he? No, that's the brake light just coming on a bit.
He's got his lights on, of course.
Oh!
Oh, what's happened there? That's Muhammad Iqbal Murtama Pratama.
Oh, that's more trouble further behind. So Mikael Iqbal is in the war zone there. Sharvinesh comes through. Everybody is having a piece of the action, even though this is actually for just fringe points.
Yeah, and what is it? This is a race for P6 right now?
Yeah. Oh, he goes on the inside again.
Doesn't
So
make
there
it
we go.
signal. Oh, this Oruj is going to be a nightmare. Oh, look at that. Shavinesh's rear actually lifted off for a second there from contact.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be
Oh, let's just stay with this. Let's just stay with this. There's A3 in front of this. He's P6 in front of Adam Daniels. So
Yeah.
they go through safely.
They're
But look at
safe.
this. Look at this.
Four
Four
cars.
cars in the one row. Sharvinesh is in front of all of this.
Oh,
and
no.
behind. Oh, Satria. Is that Satria going off? It is Satria. Oh, and Pratama somehow, again, car control for the Indonesians today are something else.
crazy. Oh my god, what was that?
A bit of afters.
It is after 8 after all.
Yep.
Christensen and Timothy Chen. Still, only a tenth of a second split between them as Adam Daniel makes a pass on Adrian Ahmed. This is going to be a back and forth between them throughout the last 5 minutes we have in this race. But if we go over to the front of the pack, there's another battle happening for P1.
Yes, but we wait for that first because we're trying to see the resolution to this particular battle.
Are we going to see it?
Oh, just and you know, I thought Adrian was just gonna dive bomb that one, but Adam Daniel just holds his line, so he holds on to that for now. But back to the front, this is half a second now. The separation between Timothy Chen and Christensen. Whoa, I thought Christensen probably had it in the bag there for a second. No, sorry, lost it, but then he just got it afterwards.
Yeah, I'm visualizing and imagining the fact that they have Europe playing in their ears right now because that's what their driving is looking like. Like, you know, that scene in Initial D where like the car just like zoops forward, just blinks forward. Kind of what I'm seeing right now as the gap between Vem and third place is increasing. About 2 seconds ahead of Emmanuel Di Parini and Lavinesh. Lavinesh, again, great race for him. Well, not great, a good race for him.
Yep. As we have to go further behind there. This is Lavinesh now lining one up on Emmanuel Di Parini. As you were saying just now, Di Parini was in third. He goes onto the inside. Whoa, he squeezes him onto the grass.
Knows just how wide his MX-5 is.
Yeah, but Lavinesh feels like the car is slim enough to go through, and he manages to squeeze in and gets P3 just for the time being.
Yeah, but he gives Emmanuel Di Parini the toll. Although, considering they're quite close to each other, it might not be that much. Oh! Emmanuel Di Parini breaks super late. Too late, in fact. And just like that, he concedes the battle.
Yep, and that's the end of that one, as battle for the lead also has been his
Adrian
part.
Ahmed
His
between
part,
Dominic
yeah.
Chen here and Alip Jantan. He's caught between two red MX-5s.
Yep. But would that be enough? Would that be an overtaking maneuver for Adri to come through?
Ooh, we're about to see as they're approaching turn 1 now. We've got about 2 laps left for these drivers. I'm hiccuping considering how intense it's going now. He passes on the outside. He passes. Ooh. Oh, does he make it? Yes, he gets past Dominic Chen. But we're coming up to Eau Rouge now. Let's see if he manages to make a pass stick. Still ahead of Dominic Chen, but he does have the toe. And Adam Daniel clear in front of him now. The battle between those two is over. But now Adrian has another battle on his hands.
Yep, and this is in the form of Dominic Chen. We're jumping on board Dominic now. Adrian weaves to the left and right. He mustn't do it too much because that will actually incur a Stewart's wrath.
Yeah, but Dominic Chen does have the momentum coming out of Radion into the Camel Straight. And able to out-drag Adrian Ahmed as we enter this next corner. But will he be able to keep it? Adrian.
Adrian fights again this time, but
Has to concede the line.
no, it doesn't. Not necessarily because he can
yeah,
get back
he
on the
does.
inside.
Yeah,
He does.
Oh no. Bit of contact there.
And block passes him on the way out. So that's good
Fantastic
defense.
driving.
Yeah, that's good defensive driving there. But look at further behind. Look
Shabby
at it, Jantan.
What
Oh!
are you doing?
Oh, that's not gonna go. That's not good.
What are you doing, man?
Well, he might have tapped him a bit into
Yeah,
the slide
no.
there. But out of all of that, the beneficiary was actually Mikael Iqbal. Oh no, he's not! He's been sent out.
Oh my god, you jinxed it so badly, dude. Come on.
Oh well, we're trying to predict out the assignment. Unfortunately, it looks as though
Chen,
oh, very fine. Lovely Chen.
He's an obstacle now. Oh, everyone just makes it barely
No.
clear.
Can he move around without hitting anybody?
He can't move. He can't move yet. Otherwise, he's gonna end up interrupting some other races.
Yeah. Oh, mayhem in copper class.
Oh, okay. He can rejoin the track now. Oh my god.
And it's still battling up in P10 here. What we saw was a massive battle from 4th to 10 has sprung up due to those accidents. But my word, they're still at it.
But now, Chavinesh is behind AJ Amit.
Oh yes. So let's see if
It's
that's
gonna be another one for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. Will he let him through or will he not? 6 kilograms of balance for Chavinesh. Oh wait, he's just making the pass look so easy for him. Oh, coming here. I think AJ does have the better line through there. No, he does not. Doesn't carry enough momentum there.
Yep.
To hold the lead.
Side by side they go. They're gonna come out to the bus stop chicane for sure.
Yeah. It's a matter of who breaks last. Coming in. Oh, Chavinesh pretty late on the brakes. That's pretty much a dive ball right there. But does get the better line through there. Has a fantastic exit. And just like that, he's in front of Adrian Amit. And wow. We got down to our last lap of the race there. Adam Daniel is pretty far behind. But out of all of that, somehow, Lavinesh is in second place.
Yes. And that means we can safely say as well, because he was in front of Adam Daniel before the start of the race. He is he is champion-elect.
Yeah, and this is the very last lap. So even if disaster strikes for him, he still has a pretty big lead over Adam Daniel and will be able to consolidate that no matter what position he finishes in this particular race. As you can see there.
Yep.
Christensen, actually a very good race for him this particular race.
And he's going to get 2 back-to-back race 2 wins because he won last time out in Silverstone in race number 2. So that's good going for him. Again, it's a case of what might have been had he not missed a couple of races in the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. This guy, very, very brave driver indeed, pushing cars to his absolute limit. Especially, I think he's very familiar with his MX-5 to know exactly what the limits are. And it's paying off for him right now. 2 race 2 wins. Very good for him. I'm jumping over my words. What's happening to me today? There's just been so much action.
Excuse you. Anyway, still, again, Lavinesh has been through hell and back, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, to say that he's won the championship, handsomely, it's a bit of a disservice to the other drivers, but to do it from what he has to go through this round, it's amazing.
All these drivers are good. All these drivers are great. And Lavinesh puts himself above the rest with this. Great season for him.
Absolutely. And he will go out to the bronze class next season as champion of the copper class. But for the time being, the race is still on. And Christensen, despite a car being damaged, I think he might have ran into a few cars on the way out from lap number 1. But regardless, he will come across the line here with a strong finish to the season.
Yeah. Great drive actually from all of these drivers in the front. Adam Daniel doing his best to get a solid position. Lavinesh driving amazingly. Christensen driving like a bat out of hell, if I'm really honest. But he's managing to make it work for him, and that's what matters. Timothy Chen here actually doing pretty well for himself with P4, as well as Emmanuel Diparini in 3rd place.
Yeah, that'll be his first point of the season. But Christensen may have won this particular battle, but the war is he breaks a bit. He's just literally flashing his lights across the line. The win and the round goes to Christensen, but the spoils of the war goes to Lavinesh Mohan Nair, who crossed the line. And provisionally, I think we can safely say as well, confirmationally wise, he is the champion of the copper class. What a way to win it. Despite not winning the race this round, he had to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did it his way.
He started in P10, let's not forget. Oh no, sorry, not P10, P9?
P8,
yes, sorry, he started from P8. And like, you have to drive insanely well to be able to claw back a lead starting from the middle of the pack like that.
Yep.
Running out the rest of the board, of course, Emmanuel Diparini in 3rd place with Timothy Chen in 4th. Amafami Ismail in 5th. Adam Daniel, disappointingly, in 6th for him at least. He's still content with a 2nd place in the total standings.
Yep.
of course. 7, Chavinesh Monaye. And 8, Adrian Ahmed, who admittedly did have a pretty good race at the beginning. Again, not being able to finish strong, definitely a detriment to him. But
Yep.
again, Spa is a very difficult course for some of these drivers. And
all-
Alip Jatan in 9th place with Mohammad Hazar running up the top 10.
As we are looking at the far shot here, luckily Spa has his camera. We can see the champion of Copper Class really dishing out those donuts for everyone to eat. As now, we could probably now have an interview with our champion of Copper Class. Okay, Lavinesh, congratulations. Can you hear us?
Yes.
So, congrats on the championship. I think you know full well that you needed to come to this right, at least behind Daniel a bit, or just finish in front of him, and you did so in race number 2. How are you feeling right now with such a traumatic round to say the least? It was just going up and down all the way.
Yeah, there's lots of emotion going through me. Really well done. I did a good race just to maximize some points ahead of Daniel. Overall was a really tough race.
Indeed, and especially that first lap, was it a touch between you and Chavinesh, or you just dropped it on your own?
No, I dropped to first gear and the engine just fuming. So it was totally on my fault. Yeah.
I think it's just this kind of car because sometimes some cars hate first gear. This was one of it, so you find out it the hard way. But luckily, good recovery. You managed to gain so many places to get back into the top 6. So you might be thinking, what was going through your mind at that time?
It's just like since I done the mistake, let's just maximize the points, get into the podium or stuff, and just beat my rival, which is Adam Daniel. Just try to get in front of him, and which I did so. So it was good.
Absolutely. And how much of a role did Chavinesh play in that one? Because it looks as though you were playing the team game, especially in qualifying. He really helped you out a lot, did you, during that first race?
Yeah, he did. We really work as a team, which really proves that we are really capable of winning as a team.
Absolutely. We're going to confirm where Chavinesh finished the championship, but it might just be consolidating top 5. But whatever it is, this little trophy, if you can see our screen, is coming your way pretty soon from Royal Selangor as a champion.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lavinesh. Congratulations. And see you in bronze next season.
Thank you.
Yeah, big heart there from the man with the world at his feet right now with such a... I mean... roller coaster of emotion, isn't it? It went from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs in just a short space of time. But again, Spa just offers that for you, and we were treated to a great race.
Amazing drive from all of these races, actually. And it just hypes me up to see what will happen in like the Bronze League, the
Yes.
Silver and Gold League. Like, what's going to happen there if this one is already as chaotic as it is?
Yep, we know that bronze can deliver most of the time, but it'll be even more so coming up to the next race here. The next 2 races we have at Spa Francorchamps in the bronze class. We'll be right back after a short break.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Welcome back to eRacing GP Global Edition Season 12, Round 4 here at Spa de Francorchamps. My name is Damon Tam. I'm joined here by Amir Haziq, and we are about to enter the Bronze League. Now, if the Copper League is anything to go by, I feel we can expect some more intense racing from the Bronze League.
Absolutely, and the fact that we had quite a crazy race, pair races, not gonna lie,
Yeah.
to decide the championship, but we had a worthy winner, of course, because Lavinesh Mohaner was truly the well-deserved champion because he made his luck from the start of the season and then just consolidated everything despite everything that's been thrown at him.
Yeah, but now we have to go over our standings in the Bronze League as Kanzani Ramdani, 3 points separate between him and Muhammad Irfan in second place. So this race is make or break for both of them.
As meanwhile, that was actually, I think that was
I think it
the
was
drop
last week's season standings, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably the drop run was included somewhere in there. But whatever it is,
Yep.
drop run is very close because Irfan is actually ahead of Ramdani in that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
But going to the other standings right just now. In fact, we've gone through the teams and nation standings. We can actually go back to the action here because qualifying is actually underway now with Henrico up in pole position.
Yeah, Henrico in opposition. Again, oh, actually we've got more Audis this time.
Yeah, and in fact, this time around, Ferrari's not as many, but BMWs was definitely the order today because everyone loved the Beamers.
Yeah, BMWs were dominating the race last week at Silverstone. Muhammad Hakimi here, sticking with the McLaren. He's the only McLaren on the grid right now. And it seems he has the car under control pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, but he has this little technique where he just tucks into the steering wheel when he drives. So hopefully we can actually get that. We'll
If
get
it helps, it helps.
Yeah, especially if it's karting. But for the time being, Issa Fuad comes across the line to...
Oh, he actually has the fastest time now. Look at
Yeah.
that. Oh, no.
Yeah, Issa Fuad did a 19, but 20, but then Hakimi 19 with Ramdani now into the 18. So
Cameron James actually beat him just by a hair, but Ramdani went ahead and smashed both of their times. Insane driving from him. Again, very strong season from him this time around.
yeah, especially given that Cameron James debuted last time out, it looks as though he's come a long way here because he is what we now know him as one of the rally stars because he took part in the esports segment of WRC,
Yep.
made it to the World Finals. So he can swap dirt for tarmac and still be well.
Yeah, and as you can see here on the speedo for these cars, it's a lot faster than the MX-5 we had last round, going up to 270 k's at the back of the camel straight there. Again, also a lot of aerodynamic grip in conjunction with the mechanical grip that these cars have.
Yes, absolutely. Plus the fact that it's amazing how these cars, GT3s, can brake at 100 meters. So it shows that they have the braking performance like an F1 car, it's just at slower speeds.
Yeah, and we're about to see Kazani Ramani. I think that was his fastest lap now, but the question is, will he be able to beat them? Or rather, will any other driver be able to catch up to him? As you can see, Iman Rayan, actually not that far behind, only about half a second behind the time again in the BMW.
Yeah, 6/10 in fact, of a second behind. Half a second, yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly 6/10 I would say, but we're not running on those numbers. We just try to live based off what
It's
numbers
off
we
the
first.
basics, right?
Yeah. But
Amir
what if it is?
Harris.
Yeah, what if it is? 5 times a second behind. He's not that far off. Amir Harris in the place makes it a BMW 1, 2, 3. So Cameron James now, pressure on him here to maintain the position, to actually go up to P3.
Yeah, he's not actually that far behind Amir Harris, only about 3/10 of a second separating those two cars. He's currently P3 in our standings. If I'm, is it P3? P2. P3, sorry. Yes, P3.
No, P3 is Cameron James, 4
Yes.
is Amir Harris. So
Yes.
that's the reason why it's close up in front. But we have not seen where is Muhammad Irfan. That is the question. Irfan's actually not in qualifying at all. 3 minutes 19. He has not been able to set a proper time. So
He's going to start all
Yeah.
the way in the back of the grid.
main championship rival for Kanzani Ramdani is right behind there. So Ramdani then has an open goal.
Ooh, now the question is...
Oh, there is a Porsche spinning behind. Big spin there. That might be Bimo Aria. Yeah, it was Bimo Aria.
Yeah.
But
Again, okay, so we're going to talk about the cars themselves, of course. With increased speed does come increased risks that you have to take with these cars. A small mistake could be even costlier than if you were to drive a slower car, of course. And it seems that these drivers are also very aware. As we can see, Ima Rayan actually beating Ramdani's time by a cool 4/10.
wow. Now that's out of nowhere because Iman Ryan is completely a new debutant here. Not Faiz Ryan, who has been racing in the ERGP competitions in seasons past. But wow, wait. What a way to do it, isn't it? To get your first ever pole position in your debut.
Oh, it probably just goes to show you like what kind of driver he's going, what kind of monster he might be on the track later on. Especially if he gets a good launch and stays clear of the pack after turn 1, which of course we know is when the most chaotic incidents happen.
Yes, and in GT3 cars where it's much heavier than the Mazda MX-5s, it will bound to be chaotic to say the least. But fingers crossed, knock on wood, we will not have any of that nonsense like what we have here. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a wooden table right in front of us.
Touching wood right now.
Yes.
So you
So-
got about 10 seconds before these cars line up on the podium now.
Great.
Yeah. Who are you going to be on the lookout for after seeing what happened last week?
Well, for sure, Ramdani, because he is way up in front compared to his main championship rival at the back. So that's why we have to watch out for him right now. As we now go back to live pictures, This is Ramdani in 4th place, incidentally. I don't know how Iman Ryan and Muhammad Hakimi, I don't know, went faster, but yeah, we'll just do that. So 2 extra points for Ramdani to gain, and that actually will put him level on points based on the drop points that comes into this round with Muhammad Irfan.
Yeah, and for me personally, I'm looking out for Jariadi Haki. We saw his driving style last week on Silverstone actually put a damper on some of our competitors' races here. We'll see if he'll manage to play spoiler for some of these other drivers here. For now, Muhammad Irfan starting at the back of the pack. Oh, he's got a monumental task ahead of him.
Absolutely, you can see all those names right. The right in front of him. That is not a pleasant sight at all, actually. Not by any means.
We can see here, okay, we're running out the top 10 right now. We have Muhammad Hakimi in 1st place, Iman Ryan in 2nd, Isa Fuad in 3rd, Kazani Ramdani in 4th place, Amir Haris in 5th. C, we have Cameron James in 6th, Jariadi Haki in 7th. 8th, there is
Yep.
I can't read the name. What was his name?
Sherman Singh.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're looking at Cameron James right now, how he must feel here. And he needs to consolidate P3 with Amir Haris right beside him. So 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th in their own different battles.
Yeah.
But either way, it will be no less intense between both of them.
The launch is the most important bit. I'm back and forth between the launch being the most important bit and turn 1 being the most important bit. But I think the difficulty, the priority kind of balances out depending on the situation, right?
Yep. As you can hear the meaty V8 of the Mercedes right close to us, with Ferraris being V8s as well, turbocharged, and a V8 BMW in between, all for good measure. V10 Audi there, as lights come on the gantry. We're gonna go out for bronze. Race number 1, round 4, Global Edition 12, and we are underway for now, the start of the most important race of this entire season.
And Isa Fuad actually gets a great launch, pushes it up into 2nd, but so does Muhammad Hakimi, and he might consolidate his lead right now. Oh, I think that was Ramdani. It might have been going quite wide now, dropping down to P6. Cameron James taking the opportunity to go out to P5. Muhammad Hakimi has a clear run up Eau Rouge.
Yep, side by side between Iman Ryan and Isa Fuad. Wow, that's very close as we are on board with Cameron James. And look at that, Cameron James once again uses an onboard of inside of a car, shakes his head in disgust, probably because the fact that he was pushed out a bit wide. But onto Camel Straight for the first time. You can see that all 23 cars that started this race have gone through safely. Up to Lakecombe now. We're looking at several other drivers in question between Luqman Hakim and Galandi Haki, who was quite a cock in the bottle last time out. Ricky Sacha with the very nice Mercedes livery with Castro colors on it. That's a nice touch, by the way, that's actually livery. But it looks as though, oh, Suteja, I think the other M92 car, yep, has actually gone off behind. So he does have the lip spot delivery this week, but he is part of the M92 Motorsport squad and further behind Sherman Singh. So he was probably caught up in some tangles.
Oh, what happened to Amir Haris is that he just rocked the P16. I think he might have been forced off the track. You can see a bit of damage on the side of his car.
Major damage.
A lot of damage on the back of his car, actually.
It looks more like a golf ball than anything.
Yeah, it does. Look at all these dimples. But it does provide opportunities for the rest of the pack to jump up. And you can see Kazani Ramdani now in P4, just behind Isa Fuad, Iman Ryan, and Muhammad Hakimi. Muhammad Hakimi actually having a really strong early lead for the McLaren team.
Ooh, look at that. That's a big shimmy there. The ATX team, of course, that's his name of his team. Holds on to the inside, but it might stall momentum for the rest of the field to come through. And Isa nearly ran up to the back of Iman Ryan as Iman actually got checked up a bit there.
A little bit of rubbing there coming out Isa Fuad, Ramdani making it past Iman Ryan, actually having to concede 2 positions there.
And Iman gets 2.
3 positions as Cameron James was winning.
And Iman gets 2 positions for the price of 1. Wow, we talk about being lucky at the start of the race there.
Because Ramdani is charging ahead like a bull. Will he be able to make something happen at the bus stop chicane here? Muhammad Hakimi very defensively coming into the inside of both corners. And Jonathan Nakumi makes a pass on Iman Ryan.
Wow, we. And oh!
Cameron James, what happened there?
I think it's penalty. It's a penalty. He's trying to get rid of the penalty, so that's why he was shaking his head. He got a penalty at the start. Irfan involved. Muhammad Irfan has actually stopped it on the curb. Isn't it? No, that's not. No. I thought for a second that one of our championship contenders in the bronze class got caught there, but it's another of the Porsches. It might have been Bimo Arya or it might have been Malik Fakru.
It looks like Bimo Arya, actually. You can see he's dropping a lot of positions, but Muhammad Irfan, stellar start for him. Gaining 10 positions in the first time as Ramdani is right on the tail of Muhammad Hakimi. Does have the toe coming into the Camel Straight. Does he have the speed to make the pass happen? As Isa Fuwa is right in between them.
Yep. 3 wide coming into late comb. Who's going to break the latest? Is it Isa or is it Ramdani? It's Isa Fuad. Wow, he is on it, isn't he? He really wants to get a win, another win.
That was so intensely coming that you see who's going to break first. And if you break first, you end up losing out. But Ramdani, again, maintaining his second position. Hakimi ended up dropping 2 positions actually. And Muhammad Irfan there still has a bit of a race ahead of him.
And indeed, plus the fact that he has Ramdani's teammate Ahmad Jusman. You can see the MR Balapan Random Motorsports car. That's the name of the team, by the way. Random Racers Motorsport. But he's got that teammate to stall him as a buffer. Plus the other guys are battling in front, so he still has a ways to go to get back to the back of Ramdani.
Meanwhile, it looks like this is a battle for P5 as Jelani Haki again in the front of the pack. We've seen him play spoiler quite a bit last race during Silverstone, especially to Muhammad Irfan. As you can see there, Jonathan Takumi going a bit wide there, conceding the position to Muhammad Irfan, and Cameron James just slowly behind him.
Yes, and you can see there, Haki is actually blocking his own teammate. That's Lukman Al-Hakim. So Lukman Al-Hakim wouldn't want to be held up too much here because they're losing touch to the top 4 in front.
Yeah, you can see the gap is extending as Ramdani on the battle in front, still really close to Isafu. Anything can happen right now, especially this early on in the race. You can see that.
Oh, he goes wide.
Fire. He's playing with fire.
Absolutely, he's playing with fire here, walking with volcanic ashes on his foot.
I think he slowed down a bit too much. I think he went down to gear too many.
No, penalty. It might have been to get rid of penalty.
Yeah, as well, yeah.
So luckily though, he didn't lose too much time and positions, as Irfan actually now does. So Irfan has to go off completely to get rid of the penalty. He has to do it all to do again with 10 minutes left to go in race 1.
That's a crazy amount of penalties given out just on the first lap there. I'm kind of wondering exactly how it came to be that all 3 of our front runners ended up having to serve penalties. But that just gives Isafu the opportunity to extend his lead even further, coming up to pole running on here.
Yep.
Hakimi has to make something happen now. He didn't do very well in his race last week. He has to make things happen right now.
Haki now also has a bit of a problem. He actually slowed on the start of the Camel Straight, so he's gonna get swallowed. He is. Oh, big accident!
Oh no, Ricky
big
does a pirouette.
Yes, Ricky Satria, and along with, looks like Jonathan Takumi Lee. Takumi's been whacked, and looking at the cars off, and I saw BW. Oh, big accident. I can't get enough of a camera view here to watch everything. It's all kicked off, big time. Takumi's off. Amirafi's in between that, and Ricky Satria finishing off Takumi Lee. I can't catch any of this right now because it's too many cars being involved in here.
What happened? What just happened?
And the camera didn't do it as justice here. We were trying to focus on which one car, but we just can't because so many things were happening. And out of all of that, Muhammad Irfan and Amirafi gained so many positions. Irfan's up to 7th, Amirafi up to 8th.
Yeah, the biggest losers of that particular incident, of course, was Ricky Satria, Delande Haki, Henry Ko ended up losing quite a bit as well. Jonathan Takumi, probably the biggest loser out of all of them, dropped all the way down to P19. He tried rejoining the track, it ended up being really unsafe, and so he ended up colliding with Ricky Satria, spun off again, tried rejoining the track again, and then got hit by another car. It's just pandemonium right now.
Yeah, through Lake man. I bet that there's going to be a lot of stewards inquiries on that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back and watch the replay of that, because that was... I thought Copper League was pretty intense, but that was a...
Yeah, bronze delivers again. Look at that. Ryan goes on the inside. Ryan was going into the inside, but could go away through. Now Ryan has to defend from Ramdani.
Oh, Ramdani that was a beautiful entry and exit from the bus stop.
Yeah, switchback. Good switchback, but doesn't have enough of momentum coming to turn 1. Where's he gonna go? Hakimi's watching brief there, and Ryan with his elbows out on his fellow countryman. It looks as though the Indonesians are not being diplomatic here. They want to go at war.
Yeah, but if you consider the fact that even over the course of their current battle, they're actually closing the gap between them and Isafuat.
Yeah, because the BMWs are good on the straights, and the fact that with them towing each other, it really helps.
Yeah, it does. And Iman Ryan is in the tow of the Ferrari as well. So we could potentially see a battle for P1 before the race ends. We still got about 7 minutes left. You can see Iman Ryan Oh, I think he has to give space to Ramdani. Ramdani's going to make the pass happen. Does have the inside track for this particular corner, but might have to concede it to Reyes on the next one. Yeah, still can't make the pass happen, but God almighty.
Oh!
Oh no, Ryan!
And there goes Ryan. So there he goes, conceding a position to Hakimi. Now Hakimi will try to get back on terms with the BMW in front of him.
Commentators considering full force to him.
Yeah, execute order 66.
Oh, okay. Well, Hakimi repping the McLaren, of course. 650 and GT3. Amazing car. Love it. Bit best looking car in the way, actually, to me personally. But he's piloting it pretty well. Looks like a strong contender for his podium in this particular race. Again, didn't manage to do so well last week. He ended up in P7 for race 1, if I'm not mistaken. But hoping to redeem himself in this race.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's had quite a ragged season. He was hot at one point, cold in some points, and everything else in between. So he really wants to end the season on a high.
Actual roller coaster, yeah. You can see Ramdani here now trying to close the gap on Issa Fuad. About less than a second separate between those two. Ryan is now trailing behind Muhammad Hakimi. Probably won't be able to close the distance before the bus stop chicane, and they will have to try and see if he can get it in the next lap. Ramdani here coming up to Issa Fuad. Not enough to close the gap. Not enough to close the gap between him and Issa Fuad on the bus stop chicane, but he does still have a couple of laps to go.
Absolutely. As they clump across the line, now what happened to Amir Rafi? Amir Rafi has actually gone off our screens.
That's a D. That's a disconnect, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a disconnect, but he's still in the race because we can select him. But either way, there goes Amir Rafi's chance of scoring good amount of points for the final race of the season.
And even worse than all of that right now is look at where Amir Harris is.
Yeah. That would give Cameron James something
to
smile.
yeah, Amir Rafi's back,
Yeah, that would give Cameron James something to smile about if Amir Harris is having some fortune.
Yeah. Because we're going to have to look at the replays after this round is over just to see exactly what went wrong for some of these drivers. But considering this is the last round and the pressure is mounting high, there is Ramdani actually makes a pass over Issa Fuad after the camel straight. Oh, would he be able to make it stick? No, you can see we were too busy talking and then we missed the entire battle in front of us. Ramdani goes a bit wider onto the gravel.
Yep, and luckily he held it together there. Fuad is now around the outside. Let's see then whether the Ferrari has the legs on the BMW. The BMW is good on the straights, but out of the corners, the Ferrari is way better. In case in point, look at that. BMW squirming all over the place. Ramdani is trying to keep his foot in, and it looks as though it's Harris, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Amir Harris as the back marker right now. He's gonna have to have to get out of the way of these two cars in their fiercest battle right now. Issa Fuad going a bit wide there, but does have a better exit. Not the best, not the better exit, a good exit. Probably not as good as Ramdani's is right now, but again, he has to leverage the power of the Ferrari's cornering in order to make it happen. As I say that, he just slightly lets the tail out.
Luckily the car didn't completely step out there, but Issa Fuad then now has it all to do again as Ryan manages to recover up to P3 in front of Hakimi.
Yeah, again. I'm getting shivers, and not just because the room is very cold right now. I'm getting shivers from just how exciting this race has been.
It's gonna be as well because we have only about 3.5 minutes left to go after this, so at best 2 more laps with a back marker potentially spoiling the party.
Yeah, and you can see Ramdani there extending the lead again, but here comes Ryan.
Oh, Issa saw that. Issa tried to go for the block, but that compromises his entry and exit out of the bus stop chicane. Now that is gonna be Ryan's one for the taking, I'll say.
Oh, that remains to be seen if... Oh, they're playing really defensively. Issa Fuad going so...
Oh, switch across!
Back.
Wow, he sold him a dummy! And with it, is that going to be a hit? No! Amazingly not.
Not quite yet, but it is a straight line, and the BMW will outdrag the Ferrari up until Eau Rouge here.
Let's see then.
Ooh.
Side by side they go. Coming out to Eau Rouge and Radeon. Who's going to blink first? Iman blink first, but...
Yeah, he let off a bit.
But that will actually get him well out of the corner and onto the camel straight.
Oh, this is nasty, man. You can see that Issa Fuad driving extremely defensively, staying on the inside of the track right now. But Ryan not giving up, just making it. He wants it to try and stick, but hasn't been able to do it so far. Issa Fuad is going to give him plenty of opportunities to do so though, but because of that, Muhammad Hakimi is now, again, closing in the gap. he wants to go for a podium finish.
Indeed, but he's not at pace. He's still 1.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to drive even harder than he normally does. And even then, we've already seen from last season. Close, but not quite, is the motto right now.
Oh, Harris goes off.
He has to let them through. He
Yeah.
has to let them through.
That's good driving from him, so he does not become a factor. We'll have to wait until Chris Chu, who's just about crossing the start-finish line now, to be of an effect. So really then there'll be no back marker for at least a few miles.
Yeah. Again, let's take away like what our current position in the standings are from this current standing, right? We have Ramdani in first place, so he's pretty much got it in the bag. We have Muhammad Irfan in 7th place. Not going to be happy with that finish. Will probably end up having to force Ramdani off the track for race 2 if he wants to keep contention. Probably still only will solidify P2 as Demas Adiasta. Wow, a little bit rubbing there with Geladi Haki. And ends up the loser of that exchange. Imar Ryan there, making it past Isa Fuad, but Isa Fuad does have the inside track into the bus stop. Not a great entry, not a great exit either, and Isa Fuad just reclaims the position back.
Yep.
Ooh.
He has to do it all over again because we're coming into the final lap now. It's further behind. That's Irfan actually being involved in the battle. As Isa goes a bit narrow coming into turn 1. We had to focus on 2 different battles there. But it looks as though the exit belongs to Ryan and they're going to go side by side again.
We can check the speed delta between these two cars. Z3 is just out dragging the Ferrari right now as we come onto Eau Rouge into Radilon. Seems to be good so far. Both cars exiting pretty much the way you want to. And coming up to the Camel Straight, you can see right now the BMW straight line speed just paying dividends for him right now.
Yeah, we're on the final lap right now. Kamzani Ramdani starts his final lap. Irfan is still trying to work on the back of Cameron James, as well as Cameron James trying to overtake Muhammad Hakim. No, in fact, Hakimi is way up behind. So Lukman Hakim is in front of Cameron James.
Yeah. The battle for P5. Doesn't seem like Irfan's going to be too invested in this battle right now, considering he's still pretty far back between these two. So it's up to Cameron James to try and battle and then slow down the 2 cars enough for Muhammad Irfan to make it through, right? And it just seems like that might be the case, but instead it's just Cameron James slowing down himself, allowing Muhammad Irfan to catch up.
Yep. As Isa now is actually slowly coming up to the back of Ryan again. Probably he's trying to do a late big boy dive coming into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, it looks like it, but he has to stay within half a second between him and Ima Ryan in order to make that happen. If he does make it happen. So far, the lead is large enough for Ryan that Isa Fuad probably can't make the move happen unless he's extremely reckless. Muhammad Hakimi, meanwhile, in the back, that probably going to have to settle for a 4th place. Kazani Ramdani all the way in front. Yet again, a wonderful finish for him. And another one to seal the lead.
Yes, he's just one step away from finishing off this championship season on a real high. Coming through Longchimon onto the bus stop chicane, and that is step number 1 of a championship finish to actually really top off a good season. So, through the chicane, through the right, and then the left, onto the start finish line, and that's it. Ramdani takes the win here for race number 1 of bronze class in round 4. So he is in the driving seat here to take the championship. 2nd is Iman Ryan, 3rd is Isa Fuad, Hakimi 4th, the other Hakimi in 5th as Ryan and Ramdani nearly ram into each other. Irfan though, disconsolately I think, will be a bit more circumspect coming into race number 2, and we still cannot call this because it'll be very close realistically between both of them.
Oh yeah, and because he's finished P7, that means he starts P4.
Further in front.
And Ramdani starts in P10.
Yeah, but we cannot say for sure right now whether the championship will go either way, but it's definitely for sure it's between those 2 guys.
Yeah. Oh god. I need a drink, man.
Yeah, probably a stiff one at that. But
yeah.
It looks as though we're waiting for the drivers to finish first.
Yep.
So all of them, after what was a pretty manic race to say the least, because the incident at Lake Com is probably one of the biggest ones we've had so far this season.
Yeah, we're gonna go back and watch the replay right after this, just to take stock of exactly what kind of carnage ensued. So we're just gonna wait until the next race begins. In the meantime, I think we can probably cut to a break for a word from our sponsors.
Yep, a long break coming up after this as we wait for the cars to just cross the line and finish it. We'll be right back. Welcome back then to Global Edition 12, season number 12 for this season. Yeah, I used to say season a few times already. For bronze class, round number 4, race 2 coming up, as we had quite an amazing first race where literally everything kicked off. But the thing is, at the end of the day, championship, all that counts. And for the time being, this looks as though Kanzani Ramdani has one hand on the trophy, Damon.
Yeah, if you've just joined us for this particular race, it was madness what happened during race 1. But over all that, Kamzani Ramdani is the constant in that he finishes first, right? And it's crazy. But now he starts P10. Race 2, we have Muhammad Irfan now starting P4. We can see here Muhammad Bintang starting in P1. Pretty understated driver that we haven't really talked much about him. He is the one of 2 drivers driving the Mercedes AMG GT3 car.
Indeed, not many will be driving the AMG car, so that's quite nice to see a bit more variety on the grid. In fact, it's been quite a good spread throughout the entire season, shall we say.
Yeah, aside from the fact that there's only one McLaren, right?
Well, Hakimi's gone a bit off meta and decided to just go for it.
Yeah, that's true. The McLaren is what you would consider to be off meta because of it's just a really difficult car to drive, and you cannot screw up with it.
Yes, absolutely. We saw just now how it was just pretty much off the pace, unless of course you can get the tires dialed up, which Hakimi has, but he just couldn't maintain the pace.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that the BMW will outdrag you and the Ferrari will outcorner you. As now 10 seconds left on the clock. Lights on the gantry.
Yep, 6 lights on the gantry now, and when they go out, we'll be underway here for the final race of the entire bronze class season, and we're underway. So it looks as though Bintang probably had a better start there, but coming out to turn 1, who's going to get the whole shot? It's Malik Fakro around the outside. Dies, he goes. And look at that. He has shades of why he was a competitor in the copper class. In the copper class where he was actually quite a competitor. Now he's trying to end the season on a high.
Yeah, I think Ramdani actually got forced off the track a little bit there. Gonna have to start again in P9. But Muhammad Irfan now in 3rd place, trying to get past Muhammad Bintang there. Having a nice exit into the Camel Straight. Actually makes the pass look textbook onto Muhammad Bintang there. He has to make it past Malik Fakro, but Cameron James is hot on his
Who's that on
heels.
the grass? Who's that on the grass?
I think that was...
that was Ramdani. I think that was Ramdani for sure. Ramdani was really forced onto the grass there, trying to overtake somebody, and I thought he was going to lose it and the championship would have been blown wide open, but luckily though, it looks as though everyone is safe and sound.
Great car control for Ramdani there, but now he has a task ahead of him, which is to make it as far up the grid as possible, probably end up on the podium. A lot of cars stand between him and that particular goal, and a lot of those cars are driven by really fast drivers.
Indeed, and in front of him is another guy to worry about, is Cameron James, so Cameron will be the next obstacle to overtake, as Irfan after second. He has to do his absolute best right now to prevent Ramdani from just walking over the championship. He knows full well what's his mission, just win the race, while Ramdani has to slog it out behind and hope that he will just go out.
Yeah, and Muhammad Irfan, his last race at Silverstone, his race 2 in fact, was marred by a lot of difficulties. He ended up being forced off the track a couple of times, being blocked by a car that spun out. It wasn't a great race for him in race 2, and he's hoping to make the opposite a reality now with this particular race.
Absolutely. So, out of Stavilo now, on the way back to the start-finish line here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. There's plenty of battles further behind. So many cars actually squirming all over the place. But we're watching here the most crucial battle of the entire season. This result of the championship in bronze hinges on the fact that whether or not Irfan can actually make a beeline for it. Around the outside he goes. He will try to go for the switchback here. The second of the 2 great Porsches here, but no way through just yet.
No way through, but he does have a pretty smooth exit coming out there. Not enough to clear the gap, however. Meanwhile, at the back there, you can see Isa Fuad actually trying to made a pass over Matthew Grange, who is now stuck in P6 after he lost the position to Muhammad Hakimi as well.
Yep, as Grange is in front of Ramdani. Ramdani then on the outside against Ima Ryan. They were going hammer and tongs. Says, who is that going off? That is Mari Sri Suteja. So, Mara Sri Suteja, my bad. The M92 Motorsports guy. So, he had a good first race ever in ERGP, but not such a good second round.
Yeah, and in Ramdani's case, all he wants to do is keep it steady, keep it consistent, and keep it fast. That is his mission for this race. And to make it up to the grid, that's exactly what he has to do. As you can see there, Ima Ryan actually made it past Matthew Grange, and so does Ramdani, which puts him in P6. Again, passing Ima Ryan.
2 for 1.
2 4-1. Great show for him and a great conservation of momentum from him going into the camel straight.
And this is not what Muhammad Irfan wanted because he's still stuck in second place behind Malik Fakrul, just in front of Muhammad Bintang. So at least he's got fellow Indonesian to cover off. Although Ramdhani is Indonesian as well, he will wish the other Indonesian would just fly off the track right now and just give it an easy run to the flag.
Yeah, and he just has to hope that the 3 cars standing between him and Ramdhani will be enough to put a damper on his charge forward. As you can see, Isa Fuad making a move onto Muhammad Bintang here. You can see there, again, the AMG and the McLaren are what you would consider to be slightly off-meta cars, with that there are cars that just do the job better than them. And you can see Isa Fuad demonstrating that with the Ferrari right now.
Wow, look at that. Fuad then still using the exit of the corners with the Ferrari to his advantage, but not just anywhere through yet, because again, straight line speed seems to be Ferrari's Achilles heel.
Yeah, not by much, but it's a considerable amount to be noticeable. So a lot of the difference has to be made up in the corners. But the Porsche is also really good.
Yeah, but he also has good straight line speed. You can see there with 2 Porsches tandem together as behind. Look at, you can see there, Isa manages to get by. Bintang goes side by side. They went through step low there as he manages to get out to P3. Hopefully none of them get penalties out of that as Irfan now battles with Malik Fakrul.
Oh, Malik Fakrul ended up sliding off to the outside a little bit too much and loses quite a bit of speed. Muhammad Irfan is right on his tail, but can't make a pass stick. And the important thing, and that's the most important thing that he wants right now, is to just be ahead. As you can see, Ramdhani trading positions with Imran Ryan here.
Ooh. And Ryan, that's Grange actually. That Grange really got shafted out by, no, in fact, that was Ryan, shafted out by Muhammad Hakimi.
Yeah. Ooh, intense. Not as intense as it was the last race around. There were a lot of incidents. Now it's just intense racing, and that's what we like to see here.
Oh!
Hakimi gets forced off. I cursed it again.
And further behind, Sherman Singh got knocked out by one of the back marker cars as well. So he spun off to turn 1. Wow, this is now kicking off as Irfan still cannot find a way past Malik Fakrul coming out the late comb. We're looking at Muhammad Hakimi, whether or not he could actually retaliate back against Imran Ryan, in this case now Cameron James.
Yeah, he lost out on a couple of positions there, getting forced off the Radon curve into the camel straight. Ended up losing a lot of momentum there, which to his detriment is going to be a problem because all the cars carry about the same amount of speed to them. Irfan still trying to make a way through, but this battle is slowing both cars down enough for Isa Fuad to make it through.
And 2 Malaysians now sandwiched the Indonesian between, so this is not what Irfan wanted because Malik and Isa are both karters, so they would know each other's traits very well. And they will try to gang up on an Indonesian here in between. But Irfan has plenty to lose here. He knows that after such a detrimental charge in race 1, he wants a good race 2.
Yeah, you can see Ramdhani in the back there trying to make it past Muhammad Bintang. Isa Fuad managed to do it, but Ramdhani might make it look even simpler than it was for Isa. Coming up there by Imran Ryan, right behind him as well, trying to see if there's an opportunity for him to sneak.
Oh, he thought about it, but you can see he was on the brakes there because he didn't want to go through Stabilo side by side. He did not want to go through there because the grab on the outside would just catch you.
Look at that. Oh, Ramdhani does make the pass happen there, side by side with Muhammad Bintang. Oh, getting forced off!
Oh! Is he a spin? No, he manages to hang on to it just about. Bintang actually just tagged him and he held on to it magnificently, but Cameron James was the big beneficiary and Bintang goes very wide.
Oh, Sherman Singh ended up disconnecting from the server. That's his race to call. But Muhammad Hakimi now, again, being able to fight with Ramdhani there for position. Ramdhani getting forced back down to P8, and we've only got about 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in this race.
And now he's looking up for Muhammad Irfan because out of our sight, because we missed that one after seeing Ramdhani nearly losing it. He's up into the first place with Isa Fuad in second, and now Malik Fakrul having to defend third from Imran Ryan.
So now Irfan is in a very good spot. The question is, will he be able to maintain it as Muhammad Bintang actually goes up wide there, giving Ramdhani opportunities to make it pass. But so is Jelani Haki. Jelani Haki actually making it in front of Ramdhani. Jonathan Takumi just behind the Muhammad Bintang getting pushed down to P9. And it's a pretty hectic battle here for P6.
Yeah, Malik now has actually been pushed out to P4, so that's not what he wanted. Bintang goes out wide. But no, that's not Bintang. That was actually Haki. Jelani Haki, and he gets a penalty for good measure. Hopefully he doesn't cause a big one further behind.
Ricky Sashia there massive victim of last round's incident. Now in P11, a pretty safe position for him. Let's hope this middle of the pack manages to stay out of trouble here. As momentum just keeps dropping down into the lower half of the pack.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out. Keep our eyes away from him. Sorry, because we need to move up back to the top 5.
Yep.
Cameron James gets in front of Mali Fakru, so Mali is now suffering.
Yeah, he's just conceding positions now. He has to give way because he knows his drivers are faster than he is. But at the same time, you don't want to lose too much. Otherwise, your race is going to go down the gutter as well. As you can see, Isa Fuad just behind Muhammad Irfan there, and Imar Ryan looking also harder than he is.
Yeah. Oh, now we can see whether or not the Ferrari versus the Porsche, who's going to be the big victor here. But it looks as though Isa got a better run coming out of Stavlo onto the Blanchimont corner.
On board with the Ferrari right now. The gap between him and Muhammad Irfan and the Porsche not too substantial, but coming out to the bus stop chicane, he could try and make a move happen, and he does. Braking just about the same time. That does get the inside track over Muhammad Irfan and gets a better exit out. That means he secures that position. And Muhammad Irfan, again, hard on his heels. He has to restart his battle for first place.
Yeah, he could have actually defended much harder, knowing that what's at stake here is more than just a race win. It's the championship he has to worry about, as Isa now dives onto the inside, makes the move finally stick, and now Irfan has it all to do again, and this time he has to battle with a much faster Ferrari.
Yeah, but oh, there he goes. He makes it past the Ferrari again, but Imar Ryan is hot on his heels, coming up to Eau Rouge.
And
that's not a very good line there.
And that's not what he wanted, because Iman is in the BMW. Look at how fast the BMW is coming onto the both of them. On board now with Iman Ryan. Side by side they go onto the camel straight. 3 wide coming to Lake Combe. This is not going to end out well. Damon is actually biting through his nails. And on the inside goes Ryan. He takes it. He takes the lead of the race. Around the outside goes Iman Ryan. And he takes it.
What fantastic driving from Imar Ryan. 2 for 1 in making that pass happen on the camel straight there. Just BMW was so fast through there, and he managed to conserve enough momentum and get the tow from two cars in front of him. Ramdani here, unable to make any headway, still stuck in P9 since the beginning of the race when he was knocked down from it by being forced off the track. Trying to get past Muhammad Hakimi here. And this is the current lull state. Well, I wouldn't say lull state. This is the current state of the race right now, is that none of these drivers are able to make any headway except for the race at the front of the pack.
And it's been quite crazy, isn't it? Throughout the entire field, that we've had so many incidents and accidents as Ramdani, and I saw just now that the car on the left-hand side is absolutely torn apart. He has a bunny hop there because there's a bum fruit coming out of Puhon, but the car is absolutely scuffed.
Definitely. Again, I used a golf ball analogy from last round. That's kind of what his car looks like right now, except your golf ball was colored blue and white, right?
Yeah.
But as we can see that, Muhammad Irfan actually still stuck in 3rd place. Imar Ryan extending the lead to a considerable amount as Cameron James tries to make a pass happen now.
Yep, goes on the inside, and Irfan not much of a fight there. Oh, this is not looking good for Irfan's championship chances.
Yeah, if he had stayed on the podium, his championship chances would have been better because Ramdani still couldn't make it past P9. Now he's dropping to P4. The gap between them is pretty small now.
He wants that win. That win
really
important.
needs that win.
But thing is, he let Isa Fuad through too easily. If he defended harder, he would have actually kept him behind, and there would have been no problems. We see the onboard of Cameron James inside a copy of a car, incidentally, because that's a nice little zoom background that he has there. Really good touch. But he was shaking his head at the end of race number 1 because of, well, he had a penalty at the start that sent him way back. Now he's trying to battle here to just finish P3 at the end of the season.
Yeah, coming out to the last 3 minutes of the race right now. These drivers probably have one more lap after this one in them to make something happen. Imar Ryan just zooming off into the distance, leaving everything behind. Isa Fuad trying to hold off the assault of the Audi and the Porsche. But Cameron James hard on his heels. Ooh, I see a move happening there. Will he be able to make something happen? Doesn't look like it. They both take the same. They both took the same line out of that corner right now. This
Wow.
is intense.
Absolutely. And we're seeing a really good battle here for the final 2 positions on the rostrum. But Imar Ryan, he's checked out. Let's be honest. Let's not focus on him after this, at least until he crosses the line.
Yeah.
But this is just championship connotations. Irfan is and is really seeing his championship chances slip away. Oh, big accident! That's Fakrul. Fakrul gets knocked off into the barriers.
And Fuckroll actually dashing a lot of chances here. Oh no,
Oh.
he rejoins the check.
And you know who knocked him out?
Yeah.
That's his teammate.
Yeah.
That is his teammate
Oh,
for
no.
the PRT.
That's
Oh!
another crash.
Oh, that's McGregor that time around. I think it was John McGregor that hit the side of him. Oh, Fuckroll has not had the best of runs, and McGregor looks as though the car is well and totally wrecked. He's not happy with that.
Yeah, and in all of that commotion, we missed the fact that Ramdani got forced down to P13.
Yeah, and his car's looking especially really botched right now.
Yeah, this is a terrible race for him right now. He's probably going to be kicking himself in the head for this one.
Yeah, but Irfan will be kicking himself even more because knowing the fact that his chief championship rival is now further behind, he could have actually been up in front, winning this race and just mitigating the damage. Now we have to calculate after this because we don't know who's the champion now, Damon.
Yeah. The points difference. Oh, that was a major slowdown there. What happened?
Penalty.
Ah, right, he was serving his penalty. That means he cut the track somewhere?
Yes, and that was genius because you know, remember how Mika Ligmalt, he tried to slow the penalty. It was on the fastest point of the circuit.
Yeah.
That was not good because that's losing all the momentum and everyone overtakes you. This one, it mitigates that because the slowest point of the track, you just get rid of the penalty easy.
Yeah. Only problem is that it might affect your entry coming into turn 1 because you wouldn't be as fast as you want to be coming out of there. But regardless of that, right now, I don't know if Irfan has a chance to catch up. He probably doesn't, unless a monumental mistake happens from both Issa Fuad and Cameron James right now. Aside from that, Ramdani, not a good race for him. That means Iman Rayyan's probably going to take this quite handily. And you know, that's racing for you. Sometimes you have ups, sometimes you have downs. It goes that way for most drivers.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to think of words to describe what happened, as like we had one extremely major incident on race 1, and then we had another major incident on race 2. While it didn't particularly affect the final finishing positions of the top half of the pack, it's still a treat to watch, to be honest.
Yes, once again, we have to use the old adage that we coin here, bronze delivered.
Yeah.
Bronze absolutely delivered with 2 scintillating races, and we don't know who's the champion because right now so many penalties to go for it, especially that Mayhem and Lake
Yeah, we're going to have to take a while to take stock of the points and then decide who gets the championship after. But regardless of that, we just have to wait for this race to finish, and Iman Rayyan almost approaching the end of the final lap of the race here. It looks like a time trial.
Absolutely, he's ever since he overtook Issa Fuad for the lead, he's just been pounding lap after lap, and he's 6.9 laps into this race now, almost close to the end of the 7, the magic number 7 that he is looking for through the chicane. Final corner then for the final time this entire season. Iman Rayyan, a debutant for this round, comes through to take victory in the copper class, sorry, in the bronze class in the GT3 cars. What a way to do so! He doesn't need to flash his lights; he's on it. As Issa Fuad crosses the line in second place in front of Cameron James, who undoubtedly will have secured third position in the championship. Fourth will be Muhammad Irfan, as Jonathan Kamili, despite being in the wars in the start of the race, he's fifth. But now we're waiting for Kanzani Ramdani to come across the line. We're just taking this shot right now in case he's the champion. What a way to do so, and he stops it! He stops it at the final corner to get rid of the penalty. He is going to get overtaken by Ricky Sacher across the line.
Oh, just
barely. Just barely lost it. Oh, look at that! Reverse entry into the car. That might have been who's that? Ami Harris, yes.
He tried to crash into the car and then he's won.
Yep. So into the pit lane we go with Iman Rayyan. We might just take an extended commercial break because a lot of the drivers here who are in bronze don't have their cameras on, so we may not be able to interview them for this one. But takeaway, what's your takeaway from this absolutely crazy round?
Oh my god, between this and the Copper Leagues being as chaotic as they are, I'm all tuckered out already, and we still have the gold and silver races left.
It might just be therapy for us after this, but
it might have been. But the cars are even faster then, so
yes.
right.
So the race will be finishing quicker. But after that, because we can't call it right now, who's the champion in bronze? We have to decide later. But for now, we're gonna be handing it over to the gold and silver guys to end of the season. We'll be right back after a short word from our sponsors.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Welcome back then to eRacing GP Global Edition 12, round number 4 here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the gold and silver class. My name is Emma Haze, alongside me, Damon Tom, and we're here for the final 2 races of both gold and silver with the championship still up for grabs here. But before we go to the championship, we'll just overview the circuit as we saw before. As, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Fantastic circuit, everyone's favorite, and once again, plays host to some great racing.
Yeah, lots of elevation changes, lots of corners, 7 kilometers of track, 20 corners in total. It's a very technical course and also a very fast one, especially when it comes to the early sector when you have Eau Rouge, Rallon into the Camel Straight. Where a lot of moves happen, but it's also where a lot of mistakes could happen.
Yep. As we go into the championship standings, then silver class first. Jasmine Tan then with only a 4-point lead in front of Calvin Powell and Francis Angelo Gonzalez with Keith Moe in 4th place. So 4 drivers going into this round. This will be even much harder to keep track of who's going to win when it comes to the fact that there's multi-class racing involved here. So we'll wait and see first after the whole thing is resolved, because copper we know who won.
Yep.
Bronze we don't know.
Yep.
Silver and gold maybe
Up
we
in
have
the
to
air, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we go over to the gold standings here, we have Mario Hasnam, comfortable lead in front of everyone. Then we have Axel Mariano Nocom in 2nd place. We have Sai Sudaka in 3rd place, not very far from Axel. We have Roy Numa.
Right, Roy Ripper in 4th. So
Yeah,
that's
Roy Ripper,
pretty
yeah.
much the state of play. Now,
Yep.
before we go straight into qualifying, in fact, I don't think we have enough time to show the highlights of the previous round in Silverstone. We're just going to go straight over to qualifying and out on track here. Look at that livery.
Alpine Stars.
McLaren. It's a McLaren livery, more like it.
Yeah.
The current McLaren livery, and it's created by his dad, of course, Keith Moe. His dad, Rick Moe, is a graphic designer, and he does a lot of 3D work for video game companies. This one is no exception. This is right up his field, and look at that. Yet another stunning livery that he's made. Previous years, he ran the Jordan 191 with some golf colors. Now, he's running with Alpine Stars, or in this case, Stratos livery colors for McLaren here.
Yeah, if only the driver will also have a nice design as well. But, you know, you take what you get, and this is a very good looking livery as well.
Yep.
A lot of cars coming in with white liveries. I think that might be a visual bug with the game itself, because some of these liveries actually won't load properly.
Yep, because it's on the both broadcast and client side that they must have it, plus the server itself. So unfortunately, for the server, and it's been having some problems for the entire season, so that's why they've been all in white cars. But irregardless, the racing last time out in Silverstone has been the best in the gold and silver class in a while. So let's hope for the same here as Francis Angelo Gonzalez starts a lap here around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit.
And again, you can see a jump in speed with these cars compared to the previous Bronze League cars, the GT3 cars. These ones will do 300k, no problem through the Camel Straight. And also, they have amazing downforce for these corners.
Case in point here, look at that. What the Mazda MX-5 and GT3 cars lack is that mid-corner grip, and this is where aerodynamics come in for Formula 1 cars, and you can see how it looks so effortless.
Yeah, we're on board with Francis Angelo Gonzalez here. Look at that, taking that corner almost flat, just lifting off a tiny bit there. And they sound amazing.
V8, of course, this is after the post-V10 era in 2007, so you can hear why these are V8s. 5th gear, drop it to 3rd, and Francis knows how to drive these cars because he's been driving Formula cars for the last few seasons as well, especially given the fact that last season we drove in the Jordan 191s.
Yeah, and we have to go back to Axel Nocom because he actually put up a pretty good performance last race. Didn't finish the best in race 2. Hoping to rectify that here. You can see that just behind
his steering wheel completely.
You can actually see him towards the steering wheel.
But we know that that's him behind it. Yep. His usual driving style. Look at how much he crosses those arms. He is literally smaller than Rick, but his skills are bigger than that, and he crosses the line right now. 45.5, so 3/10 off. Roy Rip, no, it make that 4/10 off now because Rip goes straight to pole position.
And I think Axel Nocom's done with this lap. He basically just says, okay, this is fine. I'll go with this. But because of that, now Mario Haslam just took his spot and is now in 3rd place. Sai Sudaka in 2nd place with Ripper still having the fastest lap of the day. And Sai Sudaka also another great driver.
Yep, but again, Sudaka, Rip, and Nocom have just outside chances of overhauling Haslam. So what Mario Haslam must do right now is to just drive conservatively. So long as that he could really keep it together for the 2 races,
Yep.
he will be in good nick.
If he stays consistent, if he stays fast, and he puts in, a good race, then it's pretty much in the bag for him, and this will be a race for second place for the other 3 drivers on the grid right now.
Yep, as Sai Suzuka now is coming out to the back of what looks like Francis Angelo Gonzalez, I think. No, Gonzalez actually has gone off back into the pits at one point. This is actually another silver car right in front because you can tell the difference between the Ferrari and the McLaren by not just that, but by not just the sound of the car. The Ferrari and the Mercedes engine sound a bit different, but it's the aero. You can see the horns on top of the McLaren.
Yeah, very distinct indication for otherwise very similar looking cars. From first glance, like from a distance, you probably couldn't tell the difference between these 2 cars. Up close, however, it's a different story. Of course, Sainz the car making a pass, trying to do his qualifying lap, doesn't want traffic to get into the way. And another driver that we have to talk about, of course, is Aldo Balagulan right now in 5th place.
He goes onto the inside there, lock up. Oh, Suzuka, no!
And goes the lap.
And I'm beginning to wonder who was that actually blocking him out of the way. As you can see, he gets thumped out of the way, but luckily, one more lap will do.
Yeah, and then that pretty much brings up the point I wanted to bring next about these cars, is that it's so easy to lock up the brakes in these cars, especially if you're not careful with the brakes. We've seen it happen a lot of times in Silverstone where just a bit too much pressure on the brake pedal and the car will just go straight.
Yeah, lock up is there. That was Francis Angelo Gonzalez that held up size to the car just now. But yes, you're right. These cars, especially in the era when you watch F1, they lock up much easier because it's just more rear-ended, shall we say, because the brake bias had to be put to the front to stop the cars. So that's why you lock up easily.
Yeah. Add that to the amount of power, and like no matter how grippy the tires are, they really can't overcome brakes.
And certainly, if you really lose balance on these cars, it's just easy to snap out of it, isn't it? The car can just snap, the wheel can snap on your hands.
Yeah. And of course, again, we also have to factor in tire wear. There's so many factors that goes into having to maintain the utmost performance from these cars. And a lot of these drivers will have to take note of them in their head while they're driving fast, right?
Absolutely. But then again, it just comes to a case of just do it, don't start thinking.
Yeah. It's not like fighting games. Fighting games, it's a constant mind battle, but this is entirely different ballpark. This is a battle between you and your concentration. Once you're in the zone, nothing can stop you, right?
Yep. As the old adage would say, that once you start thinking that things are already a few corners right behind you, and you would not want to have that.
Yeah.
So, qualifying coming to an end right now. This is now into overtime. Suzuka is only about a 10th behind Ripperip. Oh, Ripperip might have lost a bit of time there with a big opposite lock. Slides his way through the bus stop chicane across the line. Would that be a detriment to his time? No, it's not. I mean, in fact, it has, because Suzuka goes on to pole position. What a brilliant lap from the Indian. And it looks as though Ripperip might have been ruining himself for that one.
And it's insane to think that Sai Suzuka actually started off that lap in quite a bad position because he ended up locking his brakes, didn't have the best exit there. Axel Nocom, 4 thousandths of a second in front of Sai Suzuka. And this is as close as it's going to get, isn't it?
Oh, Suzuka might be absolutely miffed by that. He had it in there, but now he will not get his first ever pole position. Nocom celebrates. We can see on that second screen under the inset there how he is delighted with that one.
I mean, I'd be delighted. 4 thousandths of a second, the smallest of margins, able to take the fastest lap qualifying and secure himself some extra points.
Absolutely. 5 points, of course, for pole position. The Mario Hasnam champion-elect only manages 4th.
Moment of truth, right? We're about to get into the final race of the gold and silver leagues. There's a lot to think about, of course, aside from the fact that the Mario Haslam is very comfortably in the lead, but silver leagues going to be majorly competitive.
Yep. In fact, looking at the silver class, Keith Moe takes pole position, in fact, because he's behind all the other gold guys. So Keith Moe then takes a step into chipping the lead away from Jasmine Tan. Jasmine actually didn't even qualify in the top 5 inside his own class.
Okay, we got 2 minutes before the start of the race. What are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for some drivers driving conservatively, especially if they're championship contenders.
Yep.
But for guys who have nothing else to lose, like Nocom, he can just go for it.
Okay, like I'm thinking back to like what happened during the copper and bronze leagues, and just the mayhem that ensued there. Will we see anything of the sort from this particular race?
For the sake of the viewership, for viewing, right, and for the race,
Yep.
I hope not.
Yep.
But it will make it exciting for viewing for the neutrals.
It'll be entertaining, yes.
Absolutely. So it will be just all bets are off and everything will go. But for the guys who are in championship contention, they will not think of that. They will just want to get on with the job and try to cross the line in first.
Yeah.
And that's what will be the Mario Hasnam's train of thought right now, as well as Keith Mo, because he's in there. He's only 4 points behind championship leader Jasmine Tan, and Jasmine didn't even seem to be in the qualifying session. So all bets are off. It's just time to go racing. Just don't start thinking about it.
Yeah. And I couldn't imagine the kind of pressure that these drivers must be feeling. Like, no matter what league you're in, final round of the season, especially with championship standings, you can't alter them anymore after this race. So all to play for, everything to lose. Just race your best race and hope you don't end up in any mishaps, right?
Yep. Keep then revving the engine up. You can hear it. Wow. The pressure on him right now, isn't it? 5 points already in the bag. Now it's all up to him whether or not he could just take the fight to the lead.
Yeah.
Likewise, Axel Nocom. As the 5 red lights or 6 in the center course come on after this. We will go out and we'll be racing for the final time this season in the gold and silver class. Lights are on, and when they go out, we are racing in Spa-Francorchamps. Good start there at the front from Nocom. We're going to have to jump back into the pit lane here for a while, but it looks as though coming out to turn 1, Nocom goes through. Nocom spun around. Nocom's been spun around. I guess that would have been Roy Ripper close by, but whatever it is, that was actually not the sort of start that he would have wanted. And Roy Ripper coming through. So that is controversy number 1 already, Damon.
Yeah, I wonder what happened, that maybe he let off of the throttle too much and ended up just swinging the car around and then just faced the wrong way, right? Put him all the way back into P13. Had to climb back up slowly now. He's back in P11. But that just means he has a monumental challenge ahead of him. And he does not want that. Keith Moore, leader in silver class right now, in 3rd place.
Yes, and he went through just now because Sai Suduka actually, in fact, was that Sai Suduka going off? Yes, no, it's not. It was Francis Gonzalez going wide, and he actually has tumbled all the way to the back because of a penalty. But he is behind Sai Suduka right now in front of Nazmeh Aslan. So Nazmeh will be a good buffer between himself and the rest of the field. Calvin Power and Damari Hasnam go side by side there. Damari Hasnam and Calvin Power in different classes, mind you, so they do not have to fight this hard. Calvin Power now leads him through.
Ran over
Seven.
It's amazing again.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Fernando Alonso transport.
Yep. This was a year before Alonso rejoined the team, but either way, around the same era.
Yep.
As they come out now, out of Stabilo, that's a good shot of the Renault high kick over line and inside. It looks as though Roy Ripper has made the start that he would have definitely wanted and go in front. Damari Hasnam has not had the best of starts. He's still P5 overall.
Yeah, and wow, what a start to the lap 1. Axel Nocom actually jumped back up to P7, trying to get as many positions back as he possibly could right after the first lap. When the traffic starts to clear for some of these drivers, this where has to see a bit of lock up. Again, so easy to lock up these tires.
Championship jitters, you might say?
I could say that there's definitely a lot of pressure riding on some of these drivers, right? But the Mario Hassan doesn't really have too much pressure riding on his heels, unless, of course, something like that happens.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't want that. You nearly jinxed it there again. Wow. That was really close to becoming absolutely cataclysmic. And he jumps across Nazmeh Aslan just for good measure. Nazmeh tries to fight back, but Nazmeh couldn't go.
Suduka goes off!
Suduka goes off, and that's it. That's the end of his championship run.
Oh no. Oh, and he's stuck as well. There he goes, trying to rejoin the track safely. Good job on him. And he...
Well, that's the end of that.
Good job for the Mario Haslam then. He's back in P3.
Yep, and a good going as well for Suduka to actually wait until the field goes by, unlike what happened in the previous classes where they just went into the traffic.
Yeah, that's part of race discipline, right? Is knowing when to rejoin the track safely and not ruin the race for other drivers. Something you learn eventually with experience. Axel Nocom here, back in P6, again trying his best. This is Keith Shaw, who is right behind him.
I wonder what happened at the start there where he got really knocked out, right?
Yeah, I just definitely think he probably let off of the throttle too much and got spinning the car around when he got back on it. Calvin Powell just in front of him. Will he give way? That is the question right now. As he's trying to make it pass here just before the end of the bus stop. Coming in hard on the brakes there. Yep. Kelvin's gonna let him pass. That means it's P5 for him, and he's got Nasmi Aslan to contend with.
And he's third, mind you, in the fourth. No, he is third. He is third in gold class. So forgot that Kimo actually is in silver because that's how good he's been driving. As one car slows a bit there. That looks like Yanming too. Yep, Chu Yanming has to back it up because of penalties. And he's been saying behind the scenes that he really has not been taking a liking to this at the Corsa.
Yeah, as penalties, especially in this particular class of cars, is devastating because these cars accelerate so quickly. At any point in time you're not accelerating, you lose 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. And it's insane.
Yep, as high color race goes right outside there. As you can see, case in point, that's just between 2 cars of the same speed. Can you imagine if a car that's slower than that, you would lose a lot more time.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see that. Now you can see the difference between the Ferrari and the McLaren chassis. There's a very subtle difference. The McLaren chassis is a little bit taller than the Ferrari.
A bit, yes.
Yeah.
And all black rims.
Yep.
As Jasmine Tan that we're looking at right now, he is supposed to be in championship battle. Is up in front. That's Nocom, isn't it? Nocom is in a real good battle with Nazmir Aslan, so he's being very close here.
Yeah, very exciting battle we're about to witness here. We don't need to talk about front of the pack right now because the Barrier Haslam actually made it past Keith Moore. He is now in 2nd place, P2 right now.
Yeah,
I think Keith actually gave away to him a little bit. Yeah.
That's very good because you do not want to get involved in any of the nonsense with the gold guy. So that's good thinking for him because he still leads the silver race.
Oh,
as Nazmir, Nazmir Randy. Well, that's actually Nocom Randy outside of Nazmir. Wow, that's brave. That's Max Verstappen style.
Yeah, see, passing on the outside, but coming into the bus stop chicane. Will you have a better line there? Don't lock out the brakes. You don't want that to happen. That's the inside track. But Axel Nocom is already far enough in front that he doesn't have to worry about any of that. Because Aldo Balagulan actually lost it at the beginning of the bus stop chicane and gave away to Aldo Balagulan to come past.
Francis lost it.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's Aldo passing Aldo.
Yeah. Aldo passing Aldo.
But either way, that's between the 2 Filipinos in 2 different classes.
Yep.
Aldo has had a horrible run this one because you know that he is fighting for the championship gold, so that's not what he wanted. So both guys fighting for gold have fallen by the wayside in the first race.
Yeah, Sai Suzuka really shame what happened to him, and he's having trouble going back lead because you don't have toll, you don't have traffic. Nasmi Aslan making it past Axel Nocom again. He's quite late for that actually. Letting Axel Nocom just letting him through, and Nasmi Aslan having a very good run out those corners.
Absolutely, but his wing is a bit odd. The car actually got decked.
Yeah, it's a bit boring right now. Yeah, you can see, you definitely can see that right now. Axel Nocom will probably take advantage of this, as you can see. Coming up to the 3rd sector of the race right now. Oh, sorry, we're still in the 2nd sector.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the circuit, we're still about almost halfway, a minute away from the halfway point.
Yeah.
But Nocom will be absolutely frustrated with it because why is a silver guy fighting this hard?
He wants to prove that he can hang with the big boys, right? But Nocom, it's not out of the woods yet. Still got about 8 minutes. Has all the time in the world to make something happen. Just doesn't have to push it too far beyond his means, and he'll be able to make it very safe. He's still, what's his 2nd, 3rd? 3rd. Yeah, he's still 3rd in class. But he's okay with the current result.
That was high calories actually overtaking Calvin Powell coming through Long Shimones. That's Nazmir going wide again.
It's another battle.
Yep, in fact, they're going to go at it once again here. Side by side, they go out of the bus stop. And behind them, High Calories and Calvin Powell also side by side across the line.
And you can see the differences between these two drivers and exactly what parts of the course that they're good at. Calvin Powell probably trying to make a move on High Calories again. Almost made a bit of contact there. You can see that coming up. Orush, forcing them a bit wide. I think it's a bit of a net put difference between these two cars right now. But Calvin Powell, very good run up, side by side with High Calories, makes the pass happen, and gets the toll from Nasmi Aslan as well.
Yep. They come up to make home. Oh, around the outside goes Jasmine Tyne and on his teammate. Oh, that's his teammate that he has just hit. Oh no, Jasmine Tyne. That's not what he wanted, especially coming into this run where he is championship leader by just a smidge of a few points ahead.
Disaster strikes for Jasmine Khan, and now he's fighting with Sai Suzuka there. Of course, not in the same class again, but Sai Suzuka needs positions, needs to make up time, and he's doing it right now. Whether he has enough time, is a different question entirely. But we'll just have to see whether or not any other mistakes or incidents happen through the rest of this race. Calvin Powell, right now, just behind Nasmir Aslan. Axel Okok actually well clear of him by now.
Yeah, these two battling hard. That's the key reason why the guy in front of both of these actually just sprints away. So that's important for no count race, especially in his recovery after being, well, we're not sure if he punted out or he just spun around like what happened to Lavinesh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, front of the pack, again, Roy Ribery just way ahead of everyone else. Roy Haslam, even as good as the driver is struggling to close that gap because Roy Ribery just had such a clear run at the end of lap 1. So I don't want to say it's confirmed in the bag for him right now. Anything can happen, of course, as I've mentioned probably way too many times from the start of this broadcast. But again, it is a battle. And Roy Haslam's pretty comfortable right now, right? Because he's still going to get a considerable amount of points from winning this race.
I think you can safely say he is already winner of the championship.
Yeah.
But again, don't count your chickens
before they hatch.
Yep, anything can happen still. Let's look at that. Kevin Park gets a good run out of Radion and onto the back of Nazmir Aslan. Nazmir has no way to cut back. Or does he? Does on the inside. Oh, wow. Nazmir is quite a fighter, isn't he? Even if it's against gold drivers, he says, I don't care. I want to have a good race.
I'll show you just exactly how good I can drive, and you're going to witness it. You can see this car sliding at Haikal Aris, trying to make a pass over Nazmir Aslan there. You can see that connection might make some of these drivers second guess their decisions, but at speeds like this, second guessing your decisions is the last thing you want.
Especially given the fact that like what Priyanath was doing right now, he didn't have to second guess. He went around the outside of Haikal Aris and takes him for P7 overall, and now I think P4 in the gold class.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good overtakes. As you can see here, not many other battles happening right now aside from the battle for P6, as the 3 cars behind P6 are less than a second apart from each other, as Aldo Balagunan actually makes a pass on Haikal Aris as well.
Yeah, and again, as between 2 classes, says, oh, there's that Priyanath going through on Nazmir Aslan. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Coming to the bus stop chicane. Ooh, big lock up there.
And a few more overtaking moves happening further behind.
Oh, Sai Sudokar just jumped up 2 positions there. You can see that 2 for 1 from him. Great driving.
And one guy being shafted out the most. You can see a guy further behind there. That looks like Haikal Aris, isn't it?
Yes.
Looks like, yeah, Aris actually went off completely.
I'm speechless right now. Like, we've seen so much good racing happen since the start of the broadcast tonight, and I don't know if a lot of that has to do with the track. As Priyanath, he is a man on a mission, just passing cars left and right. Now up to P5 from what he was P8 earlier. Same driving from him.
Calvin Powell though.
Yeah, Calvin Powell just took it back from him. As I say that, I need to stop talking so much because I feel like I'm cursing every driver I'm looking at today.
Yeah, I think they should not want. They do not want you to have to commentate on this, right? No, it's not just against you. It's probably just what they will be thinking right now. But either way, Calvin Powell, and again, fighting between classes, and unfortunately the lag, desync or whatever we want to call it, is not really doing us favors right now.
Yeah, it's also dependent on what we're seeing versus what they're seeing, right? Because what we're seeing is still relatively smooth, but what they could be seeing is desynchronization to the point where like you don't know whether or not it's safe to make a move, and that might cause some of these drivers to let off like that Priyanath. They're almost losing control of his car.
That makes him fall into the clutches of his fellow classmate Aldo Balagunan.
Meanwhile, Usai Sudokar again charging up to the pack, makes it past Nazmir Aslan, had to give way to him. Of course, they're not in the same class, but that leaves him pretty close to where he wants to be in terms of championship standings.
Right around the outside they go, and we had a synchronized move there because Nazmir looked like he wanted to really fight back. He really is putting his car in places where, yep, I want to have a go.
Yeah. If we go over to the front there, we can see we can go back to Axel Nocom here. We're trying to catch up to Keith Moore. Hasn't been able to close the gap because while the traffic is clear, he doesn't have a toll. He's running in clean air. He can't go as fast as he wants to be. I've seen cars go at least 320 k's here. He can't even crack that without a stick.
Yeah. the fact that they cannot adjust any aerodynamics anyway, so the slipstream really does help a lot. Unless of course the car starts tapping out.
Yeah, definitely. But the red line is about 18,000 revs, right? 90,000. So you can safely assume that the gearing probably would let them go a bit higher than that. It's just a matter of whether or not the aerodynamic or the drag will be able to let them through that breaking point.
Yeah, the cars just start hitting Mother Nature because it's just holding you back.
Yeah.
So, well,
Saying that,
case,
however,
yeah,
it's definitely closing the gap between teams right now. It was 1.6 at the start of the lap. Now it's less than 1 second. But consider the fact we only have 1 minute left in race 1. I'm guessing that Axel Nocom here will probably be able to cross the line before the timer runs out, so he'll get another lap.
yes, he does.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so one more lap, 1 lap magic. Gran Turismo 4, you all win.
Yes, but in this case, all the cars are moving already rather than you coming to a standstill. So Nocom then will have 1 lap to go here to get an overall podium position. He's already third in the gold class, but how he love to get one over, you know, a good friend in Kimo, but they got a friendly rivalry going on.
Of course, definitely. A friendly rivalry keeps competition healthy. And if you get complacent, that's what your rival is for, right?
Yep. Keeping him very honest right now as Keith is aiming to finish on the overall podium while taking another win and another step towards at least taking a swipe at Jasmine Chan's lead.
Yeah. Gap. Okay, so you can see the difference now in how these, what I mentioned earlier, the difference between how fast certain drivers clear certain sectors. I have noticed that Axel Nocom manages to eke out most of his leads in the latter half of the lap. But as you can see here, he dropped again his lead from about a second to about 8 tenths, which might not be enough for him to catch up, of course, as long as Kimo maintains his pace. Meanwhile, Roy Ripper, again, that lead was about 8 seconds before. Now it's about 15 seconds. Insane pace from Roy Ripper.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, he's been the king of the race. Has something happened to a driver in second place? What happened to Mario Hasnam? Where is the Mario Hasnam?
Did he spin? Did he go off track? I don't
Yes,
think
he has. He has.
Yes, yeah.
Look at that. He's stuck in 7th gear.
Oh, no.
What has happened to the Mario Hasnam?
Has this transmission given out?
Well, that's actually quite well, it's possible actually, because sometimes when you hit a curb wrong, you can't get it right. You can't actually hit it. But Roy Ripper comes across the line to take his first victory of the season, and how he would love that. But what happened to the Mario Hasnam?
Sai Suzuka is catching up to him right now.
Yes, and across the line goes Kimo to win the silver class. But where is Hasnam gonna finish? There they are! Oh, look at that!
Oh,
the whole field of cars coming through. But Hasnam has to stop. Oh, that's not where to stop. That is not how you stop a car in the middle of the way. And that leaves Kevin Powell to come through. The Mario Hasnam with an absolute mare.
He had to serve a penalty there?
Well, the car literally was coming to a standstill. We have no idea why, but Kevin Powell would love to take second position in the silver class. He'll take that any day. But Hasnam has not been able to cross the line. Where is Hasnam? He stopped.
He stalled.
And that's it. He's not going to get any points here because he didn't cross the line.
Oh.
Listen to the car.
It's completely stalled.
It's out. It's conked out. So, wow.
Oh, at the very last corner as well. That is devastating.
Oh. It might have been fuel, yeah.
It might have been fuel.
But even if it is fuel, you can see the car still rising a bit in power, because you can see that it was in 7th gear. It was rising to 200. But then towards the end, as he was trying to back it off to probably get rid of a penalty, the car just conked out.
Oh, man.
He will still score points, I think, because he completed most of the distance in the race. But wowee, that has thrown the spanner into the works, and because of that, the championship in gold is now wide open again.
Yeah, Axel Nocom there. Comfortable second in class behind Roy Ripper.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we might have to go to a commercial break now to get our collective breaths here, but what a way to start off the finale of Gold and Silver with that drama at the end. So, right back after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We are going to be starting race 2 of the eRacing GP Global Edition, Season 12, Round 4 at Spa-Francorchamps. And, well, let's just say if you've just joined us for this race, last race ended in a hard stopper for Demario Hasnam. Insane. I think his gearbox failed somewhere too. He probably hit a curb too hard and it ended up just conking him out, and he couldn't even finish the race.
Yeah.
So he didn't end up in the points, and he can't even start for the front of the pack because he finished then he DNF. So,
so that kind of throws everything into the whole barrel of possibilities right now. What can happen? Yep. So cars are actually revving up right now. It looks as though Jose Alcantara will be on pole position for the final race of the entire season here, and the last race of the entire capture, incidentally. Coming up now, 5 red lights on the gantry, and when they go out, we'll be underway for the final time this season. And looks as though one guy didn't get it off to the best of starts at the front. And coming up now to turn number 1, looks like, what is it, Nazmi Aslan, into the front of the field he goes.
Okay, let's just see if there are any incidents happen there. Some drivers did get forced a bit wide, but it doesn't seem like there's any major incidents. Nazmi Aslan, clean lead, but Aulia Prinanata hot on his tail. Sai Suduka in 4th place behind Francis Gonzalez onto the Camel Straight.
Yep.
Clean lap 1 so far.
Yeah, well, we say so far because something might still happen. Is coming up to Lake Combe now. 3 white, 4 white even further behind as we come up now to Lake Combe. Is it going to be clear? Oh, let's hope so.
Oh,
no! Well, spoke too soon there. Jose Alcantara gets really spun around. He shafted, sent up to the back of the field. As now, we're going to have to see whether or not he can recover. Further up in front, Kevin Pao, who was the big beneficiary of those cars whacking each other out. And a car in the grass, that's Prinata. Keith Mo comes through cleanly as well.
This is not Alcantara's weekend. I would have to say for him, but a lot of drivers are going to be winning out. Demario Haslam now has a monumental task ahead of him. He has to finish in the points. Otherwise, I think he might just barely lose out the championship.
Yeah, but he had a 30-point lead despite that, coming up to the end, and here he is, stuck behind a couple of silver guys, Haikal Ariz and Keith Mo then, so Keith hasn't had the best of starts. Conversely, I was looking at just now Jasmine Time, that's his chief capture rival up in front. He is having the best of starts as well. Actually, conversely, he had the best of starts, so up in front he goes, he lets Aldo Balagulan through, but he might want to fight back.
And I'll be like, just so he can have a little bit of the goal coming up to the Mustang chicane right now. A little bit of contact that I think just nudged Aldo Balagulan's tail a little bit. Sai Suduka now actually having a great race. Although I wouldn't want to say anything too soon. Oh! Locked up the brakes again!
Jasmine with a rear lockup, and luckily he didn't get whacked by anybody that time, but he loses position to Aldo Balagulan, and luckily still 2nd place in silver.
Yeah, and you can see there, Axel Nokop in 6th place. Didn't have the best finish. Quite strong, not his preferred finish, of course. He's going to be really happy with that. And now he has another task ahead of him to make it on the podium for this race.
Yeah, he spun around at turn 1 after claiming pole position by 4,000, so Nokov will love to finish the season on a high, even if he is not going to win the championship anyway. As, Jasmine with a big lockup, and Balagulan likewise as well, going to the side of him, and we win. Oh no! Yes, and that was bound to happen, wasn't it? Oh, he flips! Jasmine flips on his roll hoop.
Dodge!
Oh, luckily, and he's back into the pit lane. He's going to have to continue from there, but Balagulan will definitely get a lot of grief for that one.
Oh, I'm guessing there's going to be some protest there happening. Didn't want that kind of incident to happen, especially in a race 2 like this where points matter to everyone.
And that will only mean good for Keith Mo, because Keith was really close behind there. So was I think one of the Filipino guys as well, Roy Rip, in fact, was also clear. No, Roy is actually in goal.
Yes.
I have to look back at the capture standings then because the permutations are running away as we speak.
As Mirazlan holding on to the lead, but Sai Suduka is just right behind him. Less than half a second split between them. We're going to go over to Sai Suduka's on board now. You can see here, just behind. He wants to make this first place happen. Let's see if he'll be able to let it through right now. After P1, he's going to have to make a pass on him. Doesn't have the best exit, but they're coming out to Eau Rouge now into Radalon. Passing up there.
Yep, and it's Francis Angel Gonzalez and
That's Nazmir Razlan.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the chapter standings.
Yeah.
It's Calvin Powell and Francis who are going to benefit the most as Sai Suduka goes for the lead of the race onto the inside of Nazmir Razlan, and Nazmir didn't put up a fight that time, but no doubt he will fight back.
Yeah, that was an example of like amazing braking there. No lockouts, but you can see the brakes glowing red hot, using just enough brake force to get the car slowed down exactly the way he needed it.
Yep. And crucially though, he blocked past him afterwards because he did not let Nazmir nip back at his heels.
Yep. Just Matan there, making up position there, or rather might be a timing glitch. Still in 313. Francis Gonzalez just behind. Ended up on the podium finish overall. Axel Nopal about 3 seconds behind. Could possibly make up the time. We've got about 10 minutes left in this race. Demario Hasnam, while we weren't paying attention, has actually been making pretty steady progress. He's now in P6.
Yeah, and I can't fortunately click on him now again. So, managed to get onto him right now. There he is in P6. Yeah, he's looking more than likely to still maintain the championship lead, but how at one point it looks so much like he could have actually wrapped it up in race 1. Had to really tap out of that in the end of it.
Yeah, that was just a freak, unfortunate circumstance for him. Ended up with gearbox failure, I reckon. Let's hope it doesn't happen to him again. He has to make up a lot of time. He has to make up a lot of places. And his competition, Roy Ripper, is just in front of him.
Yeah, in fact, looking at Roy right now, it still wouldn't be enough to actually get him the title because drop points is a bit of a tricky thing to calculate, but 30 points coming into this round means that Roy really has to bang it home even in the just two races. So he won the first race, not sure about the fastest lap stakes, but if he got that, he's in good nick.
Yeah, now he's right behind Axel Nopal here. Axel Nopal putting in a pretty good lap, 146.2, just slightly ahead of Roy Ripper here. That means Axel Nopal is on pace. In fact, will be able to hold the lead just a bit longer. Still only a second gap between these two drivers.
Yeah, Ming Chu, who hasn't had the best of runs in the Santa Corsa, has dropped out of the race, so he ends his season on an absolute whimper. He'll probably be coming back next season, or maybe not.
There are going to be winners and there are going to be losers in every season. That's just the way of the world. Some might take it better than others, but of course every race is a learning experience, and hopefully he manages to learn a lot from this
season. Yeah, as Rianata then goes very wide. That's going to leave Balagulan up onto the inside. Balagulan has to be careful. He's already knocked out one driver, and he's knocked out a second, and there goes Priyanatha.
Oh, there's going to be pitchforks raised, I would imagine, for certain circumstances like this. And like from Priyanatha's perspective, once these cars get onto the AstroTurf, they kind of lose a lot of grip.
Yeah. And the fact that the curves here are a bit serrated, so it does upset the car's balance a bit. And if you hit it completely wrong, you can actually wreck your gearbox, like we presume what happened to the Mario Hasna.
See if it lock up there. Keep it ahead there. Alvaro trying to make up time. Gets past Aikalaris.
Yep, gets past clearly that time. But look at the state of his car. That's the legacy of that impact that he had with Jasmine Tan that sent him completely tumbling on his roof.
Ooh, okay, 7.5 minutes left. You can see here, 3 top front runners for Gold Class. Demario Hasna, Roy Ripari, and Axel Nopal all sharing the same position. The one exception for that is Sai Suduka, who's way out in front, which means they're gonna have to trouble that. Oh, Keith Moore making a pass on Calvin Powell there.
Yep, the McLaren livery on the McLaren versus the Renault livery on the McLaren goes through Lacombe, and it's the McLaren car with its proper livery, albeit a bit anachronistic, takes P7.
Now it's a matter of whether Calvin Powell can take that position back. Of course, it's always going to be a battle for these two cars. I think they're pretty close in terms of championship standings as well, right?
Yeah, because it is a battle for second and first, because it was only 4 points of separation between first and second from Jasmine. Calvin Powell was tied with Francis Angelo Gonzalez, and Keith Moore was just a point behind them.
Yeah, so whatever the results of this race, this is all to play for them, especially right now. You're going to have to see whether or not they'll be able to keep this battle going all the way to the end, or whether or not Keith Moore will be able to increase the lead and just call the battle a day.
And amazingly, I'm surprised that Calvin Powell actually let him by that easily. He just probably didn't think of championship.
Yeah.
He just wants to keep his car clean.
Yeah, definitely. Because if the last race is anything to go by, Keeping your car clean is probably the hardest thing that's ever happened in this entire series.
Absolutely. From the bottom tier class all the way to the top, it's not been easy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see here. Demario has now 4 seconds behind Roy Ripper. Roy Ripper 1 second behind Axel Nocom. Axel Nocom about 5 seconds behind Sai Sunika. So I think this is definitely his race to call. Probably not going to be enough to really affect his standings overall compared to Demario Haslam. As long as he finishes in the points, he'll be safe. We still have to calculate that afterwards. But now it's just a matter of hold your position, hold your line, hold your pace, and keep it consistent.
Yep. Well, speaking of consistency, Suduka's up in front by about 3 seconds of Nazmir. So after making that move stick, he's not looked back. He is well and truly clear. So Suduka, maybe a dark horse into the second championship, as someone had a big lock up there. That might have been no cop, which forced Rip to just put a bit of opposite log there.
The gap is narrowing, you can see that. Actually, I think it was Francis Gonzalez because Nocom just ended up closing the gaps quite substantially.
Yeah, and Gonzalez, because for his sake, it's a championship he has to think about as well, because he's only about 4 points behind Jasmine. With Jasmine completely out of the picture, this is Gonzalez's best chance here to take the title away, but he has to be careful with Nocom.
Yeah, I get so worried every time these cars go over the curves into the AstroTurf, because then, like, I get flashbacks to what happened last race.
Yes, and we just saw it just now, what happened with Balagulan taking out yet another driver.
Okay, so now we're taking stock here. He's going to have, Francis Gonzalez is going to have to let Axel Nocom pass. He's just that much faster than him. And this particular sector here, you can see, okay, not going to defend, not going to make any fuss happen. He's just going to let him through. And Axel Nocom inching ever so slightly closer to that to Sai Sudokan.
Yep, Balagulan's very close behind Calvin Bala. Let's hope that he makes that overtaking maneuver mistake as around the outside goes Nocom then. Wow, they're still at it, and Balagulan's still behind Calvin Powell for some reason.
Yeah, I thought Gonzalez was gonna let him through without a fuss. I was wrong, I guess. Coming out to Eau Rouge.
Wow, Francis is probably not thinking about championship connotations either, because he's just wanting to have a good battle royale out of it in the final race of the season.
We're almost rubbing tires there. You can almost see that. This is how close these drivers get.
Oh,
contact!
Very close. Small contact between both of them. And Gonzalez against Nocom, and Gonzalez goes through there, miraculously not taking both of each other out.
Yeah, speaking of Balagulan, he actually made it past Calvin Powell.
Yep, there's Balagulan.
In many cases.
Yes. So many consonants instead of vowels in some people's names, but Balagulan makes it through this time cleanly, despite having 2 major accidents in this race.
I reckon there's going to be some protests. We haven't gotten that many so far in terms of like inquiries, that the stewards' inquiries at least. But it's part of that. This battle here. Roy Ripper is now less than a second behind Axel Nocom. Axel Nocom with that battle with Gonzalez actually slowed them both down to the point where Roy Ripper is going to have a chance to keep up.
Yep. And he's keeping his slim championship hopes alive here by keeping up with Nocom, and if he could overtake Nocom in the next 2.5 minutes, he is in good nick. So, take 2 then for Axel Nocom coming out to the bus stop chicane.
Gonzalez going to be a little bit defensive there, actually.
Yeah, not as clean as he did last time, wasn't it? Because he just let him through. Nocom will be absolutely furious with this.
So let me through, buddy. I need this win. Coming out here. Gap does extend a little bit.
Real lock there from Axel Nocom. He had to dab a bit of opposite lock to keep the car pointing straight, and that has cost him a bit of time coming up now through Eau Rouge and Radion.
Yeah, so now at the 11th hour of this race, that's when the pressure is at its absolute peak for these drivers, right? There's just so many things that you have to consider going into these races. Oh god, it's 2 minutes left. I have to make a move, otherwise I'm not gonna get where I need to be, right? And sometimes pressure overwhelms you. Sometimes you might make a mistake. We hope it doesn't happen here, of course. I am touching wood right now, just in case I curse anybody else, as Elder Balagulan makes another pass over Keith Mo.
Yeah, this time it's clean, so for Keith Mo's sake, he let one guy who has been the bad boy in this race through. Almost a bit like Russell Reyes in the initial years, but probably Balagulan is just a bit pressured himself because he wants to actually taste for a championship too. But either way, Gonzalez being a cork in the bottle in front of Nocom and Rip, this is not what the Filipinos wanted, because this is a Filipino 3-way scrap, and it's not beneficial to any one of them.
Yeah, Francis Gonzalez not even in the same class. Let's see, considering the fact battle is not something he should be actively taking part in. Although I don't think he's particularly paying attention to it.
Not as much as he would have liked, but again, he is giving he's making an absolute meal out of it as there's no come around the outside once again, and this time Balagulit again. Gonzalez goes through.
Okay, let him through. You're not losing anything. Nope, he goes he goes in for the switchback.
Yep. Gonzalez there around the outside. Will he try to do it this time? Oh, this is battle between the two classes is fun and all, but again, the big loser of all this is actually Nocom because he wants to get up to the back of Sai Surukan and Nazmi Aslan, but he's not getting it.
And this is the last lap.
Oh!
Coming up there, Radalon into the camel straight there. Side by side is so scary, especially in cars this fast.
Yeah,
But actually, the lead has extended between them and Roy Ripper. I don't think Roy had the best
yep.
entry.
And look at that. Around the outside goes Gonzalez again, and he retains third place.
Oh my god, come on, you want something to happen, but something else is putting a stop to his plans, right? And Roy Ripper, I think he wants to make a move, he's just not entirely sure whether or not it will end up affecting Gonzalez as well.
He doesn't want to fight Nocom either because he knows full well that they're both in it for the hunt to for the championship. Mario Hasnam is behind all three of them, and he's just hanging back.
Yep, I think he's considered the fact he doesn't want to push anymore. There is a certain risk to pushing your car too far past its limits, and as we just saw in the last race, you know what happens when you push a car way past its limits. Of course, Sai Suzuka right about to wrap up his final lap and take overall victory for this race.
And of course, the gold classman as well, his second ever in eRGP, rounds the final corner, across the line, takes the checkered flag, and wins the final race of the entire season. Congratulations to Suzuka. He is one of India's most successful drivers in this championship. Nazmi Aslan wins silver for the second straight race, so he's on a good roll. Oh, across the line! That's Nocom, and Gonzalez. Nocom manages to nick it away from Gonzalez by a 10th. Ripper crosses the line in 5th, 3rd in class, and then Demario Hasnam crosses 4th in gold class. With Keith Moden, Keith coming across. Oh! That's a bit of afters. He may not have liked Balagulit one bit. But Nazmi is celebrating a second straight race 2 win. Sai Suzuka is celebrating another victory in eRGP. So, who are we going to get on board for today? It's just so many. Okay, so Sai will be getting on board here. So Sai Suzuka will be the first interviewee of this Zoom call, and we can get him. So where is Sai Suzuka right now? Can you hear us, Sai?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you. 1 second.
Congratulations on your second ever win in eRGP. Or is this a second time this season or a second win?
I had a win last season. This is my first win this season, but second win overall in Global Edition.
Nice. So that's 2 wins in 2 seasons. But tell us through your second race, because it looked as though Nazmi really put out a lot of a fight, but after that you just went away from him.
Well, yeah. I had a lot of trouble in qualifying with some silver class drivers, but either way, I was a little bit upset just to miss out on pole, but that's okay. That's the name of the game. Actually, what happened in race 1 was my PC started freezing because of Zoom meeting. I had to leave Zoom meeting. That's why I spun out, and I had to make a comeback straight after that. And in race 2, reverse grid, I knew some silver class drivers were ahead of me, so I took it a little safe. I knew I had the pace to win this race, so I took it a little safe, kept behind Aslan, waited for the right opportunity. He really good racing, by the way. He gave me plenty of space. Yeah, it was a smooth win for me, which I don't get often, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, as compared to running with a control last year, it looks as though you got a brand new wheel for this one. It looks like a Moza R5.
Yeah, it is a Moza R5. You're correct. I'm really getting to grips with this wheel finally after a month of using it. So slowly I'm getting the pace that I knew I could get when I got my wheel back. But anyway, lastly, I just wanted to thank all the organizers, the broadcasters, the server admins, and you guys, of course, for commentating this. for making this event possible. I really enjoyed it, and I hope to join you guys in future events as well.
And thank you likewise. And we would love to see you in future events, especially given the fact that you're really getting competitive in the GP space, especially this year being a really good season.
Yeah, it has been a positive season, except for the last round where it had that weird 3 races instead of 2, which kind of messed me up in the championship. But it happens. These things happen. Everything else was really smooth. Hopefully, I can come back for the next championship stronger.
Absolutely. And we would love to see you in the future. So thanks again, Sai, and congratulations for your second win in ERGP.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. So that is Sai Prithvi Sudhakar with a very good win. What might we add? He drove a really clinical race. Never looked back after overtaking Nazmir.
Yeah, and now we have to take stock. Okay, so we're tabulating the scores between silver and gold. Might take a while. We still haven't clearly defined a winner yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of safe to say who's going to be it, but of course, points here and there could mean the difference between first and second. But overall, this entire broadcast, right? The 3 races that we had in copper, bronze, silver, and gold.
Yep.
Probably some of the most intense racing I've seen in a while.
Absolutely. And now we might try to get a driver who was involved in that intense race for the overall win. Is Nazmir Aslan still on board? No, I think he just turned off his camera just before we got to interview him, because he'll be pretty chuffed by the fact that he had 2 wins, race 2 wins in 2 consecutive races. So he will be absolutely over the moon with that. We might at least get one last word for the entire season from, we try Roy Ripper at first because Roy was the one that won in race number 1, but it looks as though both of the guys are probably not in the best of talking moods, I would say. Yeah, I think
You can see the beads of sweat on his shirt already, on his neck already.
yeah, but either way, maybe not a good time to get into both of them because it looks as though they got a very tough race. Yeah, probably believe that I think Sai's words are probably nice enough to end off the entire season. Don't you think?
Yeah, and now that we've reached the end of season 12, of course, I've only joined for rounds 3 and 4, but from what I have seen so far, it was intense, it was chaotic, it was entertaining, and it was good racing all around. And I hope I'd be able to join again for season 13. But why don't you tell me what your particular highlights were throughout the entire season?
Hard to say. It's been really good throughout the entire season. Maybe the gold silver races in Silverstone, because for the first time ever we had in a while very good racing in the top class, which is quite a rarity. Given the fact that most of the time they've been playing it very safe or it's been sprung out, but this time we chose the right car and the right circuit, and it was good intense racing. So I would say that's the highlight season. But take nothing away, all the races in all the classes throughout all the 4 rounds that we've had have been absolutely huge pleasures to watch.
Yeah, what an amazing cap off to this season as well. I think we picked Spa was a great choice because he gave us some absolutely entertaining racing. Despite the fact that there were a few incidents that might not have been the best for some races, and it all ended up with very close results for most of the leagues in the overall championship standings. And I think that's just what racing is supposed to be like. Just close competition, large amount of fun, and well.
Yeah, I think you're out of words right now, so we'll leave it at that before you start hurting yourself after this.
I've run out of breath, yes.
Yeah, but either way, thanks for joining us the entire season. That will be it for Global Edition 12. We'll be seeing you next time in the Endurance Edition in a few months' time. But for now, it's goodbye. We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of the year.
Bye-bye.